cold turkey. Damn, shorty, you thick. Let me fuck. You as a woman should know me coming across the street, me running across the street, coming to holler at you and say, hey, Miss Lady, how you doing? What's your name? That my intention is to fuck eventually. Right? What these people call lying is you getting to a person, right? And they going through the rigmarole of getting to know somebody. He hit, then he dip off. You wasn't who you said you was. Okay. But is that a lie? No, he went through the rigmarole for you to give up your box. Right? And again, if everything's such a lie, if everything's such manipulation, why is it so easy to convince these women to come out they pussy? What's woman's responsibility in this thing? I could lie to you all day. It's up to you to believe it, facts. But if I look good enough, hey Frank, if I look good enough, right? If I got the Lexus, you see me step out that Lexus LS 430 across the street, right, with the body kit and the Brabus, right? And I'm looking clean and I'm smelling good. I step up out this thing smelling like Louis Vuitton Imagination. I'm clean. I walk up to you. You like the way my swag is, right? Then it's no problem, right?
You already know, man.
Women, you guys, y'all need to stop. Y'all are perpetual victims. No matter what y'all go through, it's somebody else's fault. I can lie to you all day. If you don't want to fuck me, you're not going to fuck me. But just say what it really is. You want to fuck me too. You see what I present, and you want parts of that. I thought we was grown here. I thought we was grown.
I think for men, when you see women, of course, that's going to be your thoughts because you're men, unless you don't desire women, and you desire men, right? So that should be a natural thought. Like Uncle Rick said, I think that women do automatically think that ultimately that's your goal because we have a hole. Like what else would it be? However, there should be something else. And there should be something other than having sex because we're supposed to be purposeful. I mean, and your purpose could just be having sex, but there are women whose purpose is to just give out the sex. But y'all don't go to the women that just give out the sex. You go to the women that you can have a half relationship with, or a you, like the guy in the video said, there is some manipulation there. If at some point you're not getting to the point, like there are men who don't get to the point of why he's
for,
and he
what are you for? Are you 4 years old?
What do you mean?
What are you for if you mean not getting to the point? Me taking you out on dates or me spending time with you, becoming out of strangers out of nowhere, and I come over to talk to you as a woman. You know what the point is. So why the victimization?
If you come over to talk, what's the point? Sex?
Yes, eventually.
Eventually, the end goal.
Okay, the end goal, right? So is it sex? Is it a relationship?
That's up to you. A relationship is really up to you. Yes, it is. It's your job, sis. It's your job to keep me there, not the other way around, baby.
How is the relationship up to the woman?
Because you got to prove to me you more than a hoe.
Right. But what I'm saying is there are men whose only objective is sex, but they'll go through the rigmarole, because y'all know that's our word. Right. They'll go through the rigmarole to get that.
Right.
And what the woman is saying is, if that's what you want, be upfront and honest about that. And men feel like they got to go through the rigmarole until they're convinced. Until the woman convinced
if you say rigmarole one more time,
listen,
he actually wants that relationship.
So let me just
that's backwards.
Welcome back, Precious. Welcome back.
Hey.
Right? See, but this and Sean, this for you too, nigga, right? This what I'm talking about. So you lie to you about what I'm after, right? But
No,
then you expect me to tell the truth.
We want y'all to tell us the truth about what
No,
you're
no,
after.
listen.
It's
This is
simple.
y'all problem. This is y'all problem as women. You already know. You just want to hear me say it the way you want me to say it.
No, I want you to be who you are.
I am. I'm a cool dude.
And being real with me and at the same time. If you want to be real with yourself, and be like, damn, she look good. I wanna have sex with her. And I'm gonna let you know.
I walked up to you. I walked up to you.
No, walking up to someone is a simple.
Oh my God, this is so insane.
But that don't mean
so insane.
You can walk up to a counter. That don't mean you're gonna buy something. It doesn't mean you're gonna buy something. You just walk up to the counter. So what's the walk for? What
am I buying? What am I buying and what's the price? What am I buying and what's the price?
What are you buying?
Yeah, you said I can come to the counter and not buy something. I'm asking you if I'm coming up to meet you off cold turkey, right? On a cold approach, what's the price? What am I buying?
Wait a minute, Rick.
You're not buying anything. What are you saying?
See this, Rick. This is my problem.
Hey, Sean,
Popping the balloon on you. This is my problem.
I don't like you either. You can pop every balloon. I don't like
you.
This is
my problem.
You're not attractive to me.
This is my problem, yo. Yo, you don't have to be upfront, but yeah, you should have some intention. When you start lying to get it, you are manipulating. You are doing exactly what women do. You are doing exactly what women do when they are going after your money, and you complain about it all the time. Oh, they just want
that's not
money.
what I hear what you're saying, Sean. I hear what you're saying, but you obviously wouldn't listen to me when I spoke earlier. What I said was, bro, is that what women call lies is that I court you, right? I date you, I take you out, I get your skins, and then it don't work out. That's what they call lies.
I agree with you there. But
okay, so let's move on.
What I'm calling lies, and what women are talking about, is when you acting like you want a relationship, but you really don't.
Right.
And that's the point that I have.
Got you.
You ain't gotta say you want a relationship. You ain't gotta say none of that stuff up front.
I got you. No doubt. But listen, this is what I'm telling y'all as grown folks. You supposed to be a lady, right? I can lie all day. I can lie like a Persian rug. I can lie. I can tell you I got this, I do this, and I got that, and I do that, right? If I have no proof of concept, why are you believing my lie? As a woman.
And to his point, that's where my pushback come back to women. Because y'all sit there and fall for the lies. Y'all sit there and give the panties out.
There's no manipulation.
There's
no manipulation. You know why we here. That's all I'm saying, Sean. Everybody, we're all here to do what we're all. There's no manipulation. The only way I can get a woman to do that is really she want to give me some pussy. I can't make her give me no pussy.
Well, that woman, if she wants to have sex with you, can't say that you lied to her. I mean, if she wants to have sex with you, she can't turn around and be like, oh, well, you.
Right. So even if I did, that's what I'm saying. Even if I did, she really knows she wanted to fuck with me. So what's the lie? The truth is, I wanted to fuck you and you wanted to give me some pussy. That's the truth. God damn it, we supposed to be grown folks.
Now, when that's the case, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Right, when that's the case.
Sometimes that ain't the truth.
Not the case.
Truth is that you're saying you want a relationship and you don't. You don't got to say that to get the pussy. But this is the problem that I have with men. It's like
I understand. Listen to what I'm saying. I understand. But again, we're on the topic of manipulation, correct?
Right.
If
she wants a relationship.
How can I manipulate?
And I have sex with you,
right?
Or she want to have sex with you in a relationship. Then
right. So listen to what I'm saying, right? There's no amount of convincing Ricky Williams of doing something he don't want to do. There's no amount of convincing. right? So again, if you're a lady of stature, if you're the woman, listen to what I'm saying. And I put this on women because the women are ones who be talking about, oh, sex is not important, right? Oh, such, woo, woo, bop, bop, woo, doo, bang, bang, right? They the ones who minimize the actions. They the ones who minimize the activity. So if it's not that serious, if you're the woman you say you are, why you giving in to bullshit? Why you falling for the okie doke, right? Why you keep going through the same situation after same situation of every dumb, uneducated or college educated working black man, ugly, fat, disgusting, all of them ain't shit. What? Black men, hey Frank, I keep telling y'all, we irresistible, boy. The brothers, I'm telling you, when we step up and we got that vibe, the ladies, y'all can't say no, baby. Y'all can't say no. Y'all can't do it when y'all see one you like. Y'all be like little feral cats outside, like. What's y'all responsibility in this thing? I don't care. Look, we civilized men, we grown. I understand. Letting your dick trip you up, get you in fucked up situations, right? We see this going on daily now, right? We understand that. But again, at some point, those women allowed them to perform these acts on them. No one put a gun to their head, right? No, hey, some of them got dragged. Shout out to Cassie. Right? But again, I asked the question to use it as a simile, right? Cassie got dragged and she went back. Right? She did all these things. A man peed in her mouth and she went back. So how many times, ladies, y'all gonna keep getting duped by the same niggas? What's the manipulation?
Well, Cassie's situation and the average Jane Doe is a tad different. Is a tad different.
Explain, please.
Is it?
Because Cassie was controlled in a way where she had to do things, or she would be punished. She would be, money would be cut off.
What? Wait. What? Rewind. What?
So she can't
cut off.
What else?
So she can't survive without that lifestyle that she had prior to meeting that man, huh?
She came from an affluent family, didn't she?
No,
she did. They said she came from an affluent family, but they wasn't in the entertainment business, but she came from an affluent family, 2 parents.
No, I think it was
affluent. I think of when you say affluent, I think of people who are well off, like who have the money. They had to. Diddy wanted her parents to pay him $20,000 because she wanted to leave.
Right.
No.
Well, no, it's because she cheated, and it was because she cheated, and he threatened her to release the shit.
Hey.
But wait, but didn't she get away and get married? Don't she got a husband now? What's so different then to now?
A husband that
she just happened to get. I guess she couldn't get away till Diddy got tired of her, huh?
We did y'all crazy. Y'all talking about listen.
He got away to someone he employed.
Can I just got a question though. I got a question though. So the dude that got 5 baby mamas and he don't take care of none of his kids, and you go mess with him and decide to give him another kid, knowing that he don't take care of none of his kids, did he manipulate you? Did he tell you that he took care of all of his kids, but you never saw him one time with his kids? Like, did he manipulate you when you went to his house, and you went to his house and you didn't see one picture of none of his kids on the wall? You ain't see one picture of none of his kids on the dresser. You ain't see one picture of his kids in his wallet, because the nigga don't carry a wallet. One picture of his kids in his car. But you decided to give him another kid. You decided to actually sleep with him.
No, though, Frank. Like, obviously, the answer to that question would be no.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No, she wasn't manipulated.
Okay, I was just asking because, but hold on. Let me make my point. Let me make my point, Sean, because I know you and I know how you are. You lucky I can't share little videos in here because I would share one right now because I know you're a captain. Dun, 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 dun. Nah, but I'm just saying though, right? You like we're sitting here saying that something that is known from both parties from the jump is manipulation. Just like if like Uncle Rick said, I pull up to the club, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the front row. Everybody see my car when I walk out. I just sit there on it. Now I got a group of girls around me. Every girl that passed by me, ooh, yo, can I take a picture with you?
She think about manipulating you.
But guess what? I know this from the jump. I know that at the end of the day, like she's gonna want to go out. She see my car. She know she like, okay, well shit, we probably can go to a steakhouse. We probably can go get a good dinner. We probably can go. He probably got a nice house. Like I know these things from the jump.
So right? Are you doing those things though?
This is the thing. The fact that I know it and the fact that she knows my end goal too, how the fuck is that manipulation? I know her end goal and she knows my end goal. It will be one thing, right? If you're trying to say like, I just came in and I said, and I finessed you out of a relationship. Then now you can say, okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, or you finessed me on my money because you wanted to marry me for a day. And as soon as we got married, now you won't have my shit. Right? But at the end of the day, like when we come into this, we know that a woman wants protection and provision, right? If I don't even make enough money, that woman's not even gonna talk to me in most cases. That's just a fact. And so if I come up to a woman and I say, you know what, I'm feeling you. What's up? Like, regardless, so if we get to the end goal of marriage or something, and get to that spot, or we actually make it to a relationship, that then those were both of our plans. Once we ended up talking to each other, we seen that we actually vibe. We seen that there's more shit outside of that, and we're like, you know what, cool. Like this is looking like this can be something long term. But from the jump, when I approach you, I don't even know you. It's off of looks. I seen something that I liked. You got a fat ass. You got some nice breasts. You got some nice eyes. Like you smell good when you walk past me. Like it's something right there that made me want to talk to you. And it's not your mind at that moment. We all know this. So now if we start talking and then I say, you know what, girl, I want a relationship with you just because I know that that's what you require to give me the buns, and then I get it, and then I never talk to you again, then you were finessed. But you can't tell me that because I came up to you and my intentions was to smash at some point in time, or you get the draws at some GTD, as Tommy would say, at some point in time. You can't say you was finessed because we both know that was a part of the goal at some point in time in this whole rigmarole, as you would say. You know what I'm saying?
So if that's the goal at some point in time, why do men have an issue when women say, I don't want to have sex until this date, whatever that date is? If it's a goal at some point in time, why do men have an issue when a woman does delay that time?
Because that's only for niggas, and that's only for niggas that she don't fuck with like that.
No, that's not
because
if that's
I'm telling you, I know it's the truth.
Goal. If your goal is to have sex with a woman, right?
You don't have sex with women.
But
that's our issue. Is that other people get it the same day, but we
that's not an issue for me. That's not an issue for me.
What you say?
Listen.
Issue that Uncle Rick, I didn't hear what he said in the first place.
Go ahead, Sean.
Other men can get it in a day, but we gotta wait. That's our issue.
No, don't say we.
That's that right. That's a trope that I don't believe in. I totally. Hey, if you, I'm not the last dude. You see what I'm saying? I'm not the last dude. Just like you're not the last chick. You're not the last chick.
So why give it to you? If
No,
you're not gonna be the last one, why give it?
Exactly. So you give it to me. I don't. I'm gonna take it if you give it, but I ain't gonna wrench it out of you. I ain't gonna throw you up against it. I ain't gonna pull you in the basement and steal it. That's y'all problem. That's y'all fault.
And to be honest, I just want to say this. To be honest, that's how y'all get finessed. That's how y'all.
Okay.
Listen, I'm just
because they want to pick and choose, Frank. Because they want to pick and choose.
Wait, I'm just being honest. That's how y'all get finessed. Yes, because when you tell a man that
if she let you hit it on the first night and then you go ghost, is she not being finessed?
No.
If that was both of y'all, listen, no. What I'm saying is if you make a dude, if you tell a dude from the jump, hey, I believe in the 90-day rule, you know what that nigga gonna do more times than not? He gonna wait. He gonna give you those 90 days. He gonna smash you and cap you out of there. Like that just is what it is.
That's right.
That's how you get finesse. It's the same when you. It's the same. Have you ever seen how hard a nigga try when you tell him that you want to wait until marriage? I just seen a woman on Lil Peep show last night just talk about some. Oh yeah, I'm abstaining from sex, but I still want to be able to kiss on you and hug on. Like what? Listen, I felt like Cam Newton in the chat.
What's going on with this thing?
I felt like Cam Newton in the chat. We're not kids. I'm not about this. We're not 13. We're not 14. We're not 12. I'm not about to sit around here and kiss on you all day. Rock hard in the bed. Then I gotta go home and take care of this myself every night because no.
Yeah, there's two.
Listen. I've been hearing y'all talking. Listen. I mean, all this naive shit whatever that man with the hint of mint was talking about, it's just all bullshit, man. A woman knows what a man wants. Doesn't matter what kind of man he is. If I'm gonna approach you, eventually I want to sleep with you. And listen, if you ask me to wait, there's no issue with that. That's what you want. You want me to wait for you, but I'm not gonna turn my life off because you want me to wait for you. And here's the thing. I was on the podcast, but this issue came up with another woman creator, and I said every man wants sex from a woman because all the women came up and said all they want from me is to have sex with me. Yes, and stop acting like y'all don't know that. That's the problem I have. Y'all know what we want.
Right
now, how we get it is a fraction of what we want from you and what you present to us. If you present to me as a lady who is looking for a relationship, that's part of our discussion. And if part of that relationship means that we can't have sex, you got to show something to me in other ways to make me want to stay there. Because if I'm calling you and you're missing for a weekend, all I'm thinking is while I'm spending my resources courting you, some maintenance man is coming out busting your ass 2 days from Sunday for nothing because you want to get that little tingle. And that's what a lot of women do to men. That's one thing. The second thing is this 90-day rule is stupid. You know, men marry women they slept with the very first day. There's men who marry women that they had sex with the very first day. And there's men who ghost women who waited for 90 days. It's a man's post-nut clarity that a woman has to understand that that's one hurdle you got to cross, whether you wait 1 day or 90 days. You know, and just if you need one song, is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow is one song that tells you all about it. So every woman has to cross that hurdle. Listen, even if it's 1 day or 2 days or 10 days, but if you make me wait for 90 days, but somewhere around the 40th day, now I think it's a challenge. I'm gonna wait 90 days just to get it so I can leave your ass.
It's up
I know you like it because I'm knowing you're using it. Especially
it's up to you as a lady.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's what I don't get. I don't get how we take the blame when it's y'all that allow us access to y'all. Again, the reason why you gave it up to the man because he convinced you in some form or fashion that he's the man. You got convinced. If you're not convinced, don't sleep with him. If you're not convinced, don't give him no draws. Don't give him no buns.
the very first time if I took all my energy, face rejection to come talk to you, you know what I want. You know what I want, and it's up to you to show me whether it's worth.
You said if you.
I said, listen, every time I approach a woman, if we're in a business setting, that's one thing. But if I walk across a room to come sit down and say hi to you, to try to court you, get to know you, get your number, you damn sure at some point I'm thinking, maybe I'm in there. Right. So if I like you and you like me back, that doesn't mean that the relationship is just sex. Isn't it you who have to show me that what you have is worth more than a one night stand?
Pain. It's hard for me to listen to you say that. And let me tell you why. Because you say every man wants sex, which I can understand.
Every man wants sex from a woman.
All people want sex. I get it. But you are a man who literally, and I respect this, said, I want a wife.
Yes.
Right.
No. Let me stop you right there. When I saw my wife, the very first time, when I went up to her and said that crazy shit that I said to her, I wanted to bang her out too. Right? It just happened to turn into something more. And I was willing, she showed me that it was more, and it was more. I mean, it wasn't I wouldn't have said the things to her if I didn't want to some way, some shape, form, or fashion at some point be with her intimately.
I mean, I get that. My point is that intimacy is something that everybody wants, women and men.
Right.
That's clear. Okay. So the point is, when you have an intention, like you said, I want a wife, then you can discuss that route.
Yeah. Okay. But you listen. But there's layers to it. For me and her, she was down for it. What I was looking for, she was down, and that's the kind of thing she showed me. But here's the thing with women. They always want plausible deniability when they have sex with a man. They always want plausible deniability, like I'm so innocent, and and every time I give it to you, I'm giving you, because it's not an equal exchange for women.
It never will
Every
be.
time, and when we have sex with y'all, I mean, there's always you'll have some kind of value, and you should, that y'all put on the sexual activity. I can dig it. But y'all just have to admit, sometimes y'all want to just bang a guy out. And even the worst prostitute doesn't give it to everybody. There's men that they do they turn
right down. A whole note that say, hey, you better say no to some tricks.
Yeah. So all I'm trying to say is that guy who was talking that bullshit in that video, he was pandering.
Facts, man. I don't understand how people don't. I don't understand how people don't differentiate between the two.
Let me just say one more since I wasn't talking. You know what? Everybody who wants something from somebody else has a little manipulation string. If I want you to vote for me, you don't have to have sex. I'm gonna tell you some of the shit I think you want to hear.
Right. What's
I'm serious. And just think about everything in life. Every business tells people something they want to hear. So it's no different. A woman manipulates men manipulate. All that shit is not a lie. We all want something from each other. Yeah. Women want something from men want something from women. And it's not a lie unless it really is a lie. Now, if we had a conversation, right, it's a lie when you say, hey, I'm looking to get married. And I said, you know what, baby, I want to get married too.
Right.
I'm going to get married too. And, it looks like it's working out well between us. And then all of a sudden, my phone number is different. And you can't get me after I get the drawers.
I told you I moved to Africa.
That's a lie.
I mean,
that's a lie.
Yeah, but the point is,
he's saying in the video.
No, he was saying no. He's not just. The guy is not just saying that. He's used the word manipulation
and lying.
He's trying to.
He said both.
He said
both. Yeah, he said both. Okay,
but you got to think about how he's using it.
He put them on the same level.
Right. Well, they kind of are. Let me Frank, earlier when you said a man who went on he had 5 children, they taking care of them, and you saw that this is the manipulation That case was manipulation. Is he pulling out pictures of his kids? He's saying, "Oh, I love my kids," but he ain't taking care of them. That's manipulation.
Now that right there, what you just said
Well,
equates
that's
to
a lie.
now that what you said right there equates to what our pain was saying, what I was saying earlier. But then the same woman will get on like social media, knowing that this man had no pictures of his kids, knowing that she never seen. Oh, he never said, you know what, I can't chill with you tonight because I'm chilling with my kids. I'm going to go pick up my kids today. I'm going to go get my kids from school. And you know what she will do? She'll get on social media and say, I thought I was different. Why wasn't I different? Like why come this N-word not taking care of his kids? And then she make everybody think that she was manipulated into that situation.
Right. At that point, she's being manipulative. I agree.
No, in that situation, she just being dumb and naive.
Exactly. Playing dumb.
Right. Because hold on, Sean, because if I met a woman and she told me that she had children, but I never heard her mention her children. I never heard, and whenever I wanted to hang out, she could hang out all the fucking time. She never had her kids. I went to her house, her kids was never there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I would be like, my first question as me being a parent, I would be like, damn, hold on. Like, where your kids at? I thought you said you had a daughter. I thought you said you had a son. Where damn, like they were and I don't never see them. You ain't picking your kids up from school today? No? Oh, damn, I gotta pick my daughter up. Like,
so you want to be in a relationship with her, but you still have sex with her.
What I'm saying is I would know that I would know that we damn sure not having no kids. That's
right.
That's
you
one
thing I know. Still sleep with her. Even
Lord
though
have mercy, Jesus.
Horrible mother. Or if she's a mother, I don't
know. But yes. Hey,
this
Precious,
is crazy.
Me and you keep it thorough with each other.
This is crazy.
Yes, I would. The same way girls are. The same way girls will let a dude they know that's not a husband knock them up, right? Yep. The same way they'll use a man for money and dinner and resources and mechanic work and breaks and getting their shit done and getting furniture moved right and helping their tire get changed. It's the game. Get over it or get out of it.
Hey, Uncle
Rick. Right. So let me ask y'all this questions to you distinguished fellas, right? You guys dated women, right? You dated and courted women, right? Took them out to dinner, took them out to eat, right? When have you Sean?
Yes, sir.
Frank, Mr. Payne, when have you ever said no to a girl giving you some pussy that you was taking out and dating?
Look at Sean. Shut up, Sean.
It's on public record.
Sean, you know the deal.
When? Nope, because that's what you're doing it for, my guy.
That's right.
Listen to what I'm saying. Hold on. Let me finish.
Out. You're right. If I'm
let me finish. Right. Let me finish. Right.
Sean, funny.
This is the thing, and we should be able to move past this after I say this, unless y'all want to debate me on it. Women want life on easy mode. Y'all want us as men to make it so apparent that we want you to be our wives, while all the while y'all have us jumping through hoops about what y'all like, what you don't like, what you need, what you don't need, what you believe in, what you don't believe in, what you love and you don't love. Right? I got to let you know my intentions, but I got to take you out on dates and keep it live and warm up the car and all this shit.
Yeah,
y'all the real hustlers. Y'all the real manipulators. Y'all the real predators. I keep telling y'all that. What is you talking? What is y'all talking about?
I don't understand why a man letting a woman know his intentions is hard work.
It doesn't matter because I can be lying. Remember?
Well, let's.
Precious, I got a question for you.
Shit,
I got a question for you. I had to say it. Okay. Precious, I got a question for you and Sean.
Assume that we're dealing with some good men. Can we assume that? Right?
Yeah.
Can we assume that we're dealing with some good men?
Yeah.
Right? Because If not, then y'all niggas ain't shit. Like,
no.
Can I ask you, Sean, a question?
A woman shouldn't have to. A woman mind is already just going a mile a minute.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is
So
that?
God, blame him. Okay.
Right, because God a man, right? Because God a
Because
man.
God's a man.
Because God, if God was a woman, like y'all say, y'all wouldn't blame her.
No.
Yeah, God's man. He still didn't listen to him either.
He had this earthly experience. Okay. But if a woman has to wonder if you're lying or not, why can't you just come to her as an upstanding man? And we're not talking about the women that sleep with the man who got 5 babies and all that. Like, no, we're talking about
good women.
Well,
because
knows what he wants.
This is the issue.
Sex in life. Because if you just want sex, go to the sex workers.
Oh, ma'am, because at the baseline, every single one of you women think the same at the baseline. Y'all all have y'all idiosyncrasies, right? You have your individualistic traits that apply to you, but baseline, all of you look at relationship with men as the same. It's why all of you fall into victimhood so easy. It's simply what it is. So this is what's crazy. Let me pose a question to y'all, right? This is what women say, right? Well, if I told him I wouldn't have sex with him until marriage, he wouldn't do. Have you tried it? When have you tried it? Or better yet, when did you stand by it when you said it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I got a question for you and Sean. So the woman who has the guy who's courting her, the guy who comes and fixes the refrigerator, the guy who
all these scenarios that
I need to know. I need to know. I just want to know what I need to know if this is manipulation or not. I just want to know if this is manipulation or not, because I know that women have had I know women who have had guys who literally just come eat the box and leave. I know women who have guys who just come over,
why
something in the house.
Women.
This is because
these women prove your points. These women that you're talking about prove your points.
I got one for you.
All I want to know is if it's manipulation. Because this guy, the guy who comes over and fixes your car, the guy who come over and fixes the fridge, the guy who come over and does this and does that, the guy you have in your phone for food, like, he knows, he thinks that he has a chance with you. He thinks that he has a real one day she gonna let me. One day she gonna let me. And all you do, all you do is, hey, I need some food today. Hey, how you doing? You just give him a little bit. Hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, you rub his shoulder when he comes through. Like, and now you get food whenever you want. You get this one, more furniture move whenever you want. I just want to know, is that manipulation?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to know.
And I don't know.
You don't know.
Let's go back to the situation though about the good man. You know, how many times do I have to see a video of a woman says he was a good man, but I left him.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Before you go off on this tangent, because you mentioned good man. Why can't y'all be good men? And let me say, women say, well, this is the good man. I would imagine he was doing all right stuff. His intentions were there and all that kind of stuff. They might even have sex, but he just doesn't do it for me. But he's a good man, right? So I'm trying to say, is he being manipulated? And so, or is he manipulating her? And you know what? People, women and men, they break up. Even good men break up with women. Mm-hmm. And when you hear those women talk, you know, you think he was other than you might think he wasn't a good guy.
He was a narcissist.
Well, in these matters of love, we shouldn't be pointing the finger, because it's all fair game on that battlefield. And it's not like women are, wait a minute, women act like they're the weakest sex when it comes to sex. You guys own the commodity. It's on your body, right? So you can't, but this whole notion that your manipulation, when y'all mention Cassie, the thing that makes me mad is that she was manipulated because Diddy had something she wanted. She made a Faustian deal with Diddy so she could be famous. And in that deal, she was willing to go to some serious lengths. Now, what I'll give her is that even that, you ever saw those movies where a person makes a deal with the devil and they sign their name, and the shit goes in flames, and then they think they're getting what they want, and then it always turns bad because there's always something really bad at the end of that deal? That's what happened to Cassie. She wanted to be famous. So she was willing to do anything until the reality, because Diddy, who is the devil, said when she actually saw the reality of what the deal she made, it even got too much for her. I'll give her that. But she wanted to be famous. And all the dudes would get plucked in the butt. They wanted to be famous. People make deals because they wanted something, and Diddy was the devil on earth because he knew if you want it from me, sign your name in blood on the dotted line, and now you're mine. And that's what he did, right? And so I was following some of the trial. I still don't see where the crime is. I still haven't heard about the crime because all the salacious stuff with Cassie, until the beating, I didn't see the crime. She was his Bonnie. He was Clyde, and she was Bonnie. So I'm just saying, men and women have this deal that they make with each other, and the women always act like they're getting the short end of the stick. And it's really not true. It's just not true. It's just this bullshit people tell you to get money out of you, like like Derek Jackson, whatever that guy's name is.
No matter what, either are paying, because you see the same those same women that you're talking about that be on like TikTok going live talking about, making videos talking about I left a good man. I know he was a good man. I left my husband, and he for no reason other than to go out and live life, right? Because I felt like I was held back, but he was a good man. It'd be those same women would then say, oh, but he did have some form of narcissism in him, and he did because they know that these are code words that they can use to bring other women along with them to make them feel something inside, to make them feel warm and cozy. That's why at 99.9% of the time when a woman says she broke up with a man or a man broke up with her, he was a narcissist now, because that is the best word that they can use right now in this time and day and age.
Well, the unfortunate reality is something that Rick said earlier. A lot of people are just full of it and manipulate one another. I think Payne said it as well. And that's just the reality that we sit here and discuss, but we don't ever really want to pinpoint it. Women manipulate constantly. Men manipulate constantly. Finding somebody who doesn't manipulate, and it is really the rareness. And that's what we sometimes are speaking to. But it's so rare and it's so popular to be manipulative and get what you want and be selfish and all of those things that it becomes,
See that comment right there? That's exactly. That's exactly it, right?
But that's cool. But look, the truth is, you got that right. You have that right. As an autonomous human being, you have that right. So that's why I keep saying, don't be mad when somebody put a bag of shit on your doorstep.
That's right. That looks good.
That's simple. And let me tell y'all how this works, right? You know why you can't compromise me? Because I can't be compromised.
Just like
you
a woman,
what I'm saying?
Compromise.
Exactly. So again, that's her responsibility. It is not my job to be a stand-up guy for your body.
No,
that's
it's
what
you.
Listen. This is y'all.
That's not why you're mad at the man, though.
That's what I keep telling you. This is y'all problem.
Getting mad at. It's not about getting mad at the man.
Listen to what I'm saying. This ain't about mad. And like you're trying to tell people,
well, man, the word mad is a wrong word. Go ahead.
Right. And a lot of times it's not about what's right or wrong. It's about what's correct. You got to move correctly. Right. So again, listen to what I'm saying. Like I said, y'all want life on easy mode. You want me to, did we talk about this a couple of weeks ago, Sean? Right? Hold on. You want me to make the right decisions for you, even though you not dedicated to me the way you supposed to be, right? You ain't gonna be, you not my wife. You not my fucking wife, nor is you showing me any traits that you supposed to be. Because as a woman, you can't even stand on what the fuck you said. So I was supposed to step away, the same way y'all supposed to step away from a guy, right, who paying $300 for dinners, right, and y'all don't really fuck with him like that, right? Or the way y'all tell a dude, you know what, well, y'all stick him in the friend zone, right, and what y'all think is telling the truth is that we'll never be nothing, even though you know that guy like you, but you will still pick up the phone and call and have him come over here and help you put up the dresser in the bed and shit, and help you move and shit. Why should I be a good dude for a bunch of fucked up women? That's what y'all ain't understanding.
No.
Why should I be a good man when y'all fucked up? We all in the game.
It's not about being a good man for a woman. It's about being a good man to be a good man. Like
that's not how it works.
No,
this is the problem with society as a whole.
Right now,
you're measuring whether he's a good man in relation to what you want.
That's not how it works. This is a lie. This is a lie. This is a lie. It's a lie.
No matter what a woman thinks, no matter what a woman wants, being a good man is not predicated on a woman.
You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me.
What is the desired outcome though? We're talking about a good man in relationships, right?
You get what you want.
And no, that's not. But no, you see, you just read the comments. You just posted it. I can be a good man and meet this woman right here, and guess what? After she turned me down, this woman right here,
we don't operate like y'all, right? And that's y'all problem. We don't. My bad.
No, you good. I'm just saying, like, she turns me down, right? I'm a good man. Now, this woman right here I'm not saying you in this situation, but since you use that comment, now she don't find no other good man in the world now.
What?
Now.
Wait.
Now.
The problem is
no.
Another good man. What?
I'm just saying. I'm saying if she don't, she just passed on a good man for what?
Look, she's gonna have to live with that, but don't you have an attitude about it?
No,
being a good man.
Precious.
I didn't say I had an attitude.
Precious.
No, I'm not saying
she gonna be the same person. She gonna be the same person online. She gonna be the same person online saying that ain't no good man out here.
You don't find another good man.
This is the thing.
Good man so you can get what you want.
This is the manipulation that we was talking about. That women.
Oh man, we gotta stop using women.
Here goes Sean.
You say you're a good man, but you're lying because a good man is there. Well, he's not the one for you. So stop lying. You don't want a good man. You want something more than a good man.
Well, that's true. But let me ask you something. Listen, hey,
white woman. But if you don't date white woman, you ain't gonna be with that good white woman.
That's different.
That's lying if you don't take her.
That's the
preference. Can I just say this though, Precious? Listen, every relationship between a man and a woman, I'm not even talking sexual. When a woman has a lot of random male orbiters around her, she finds something of each one of those men that she wants, or else she's not hanging with them. One guy is just good to talk to. One guy, he got some muscle, so he's good to move furniture. Another guy is doing this. Another guy is doing that. Women find a way to extract the things they want around from the men that they put in their orbit.
If they allow it. If the men allow it.
And the nexus for that, for most of those men, is that they have a possibility of one day sleeping with them.
And the truth.
Let me just go ahead and finish this. And so that's the core of what we talk about, guys who simp or random. I call them random male orbiters because a lot of ladies like to have that. And if I ask her, well, why do you hang out with that guy? Woman can give me an answer for that. Why you hang out with that? That's why when women are in a relationship with a man, I mean a real relationship, he doesn't like to see her random male orbiters around her, because he knows what the guys want. And he also knows that his woman's extracting. Let me just say this, I'll shut it. He also knows his woman is extracting something from each one of those men, or else they would not be around her. Right? So women manipulate men all the time.
Well, maybe
all
I should because maybe that's why I ain't got no man.
And they hide it up.
Maybe y'all want something from me.
Yeah, right. I mean,
yeah, they do.
Women
hey, Press, I think if you don't, I don't believe that you have no man, but if you don't have no man, that's your choice.
They do want something from you. Go ahead, Sean, my pepper.
And every man
I'm
wants
just
something.
saying, you're absolutely right. This is the point that I'm making. Women.
Look at God. No, he probably got a call. But when you come back, but what I'm saying to address what you were saying earlier, Precious, that's the difference between us and y'all, right? I don't do shit just because it make me feel good, right? The only thing I do because it make me feel good is I want to hit them skins. You understand what I'm saying? But if I'm putting in effort to a woman, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for a reason. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
And I'm not talking about associations. I can associate. That's different. I'm talking about if I'm here putting effort into you. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we're all here to do what we're all here to do. I keep trying to tell y'all that it's simply the game. Y'all want to change the game. The game will never change. It never will change. It's just the way it works. Accept it. Get your non-negotiables, rock with those, and stand on them for everybody, for everyone. It's some things that there's some things that no man nor woman can get me to do. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get me to do it because I'm not going to compromise myself for you or anybody else. Our women, y'all want to be held up here when really y'all hold yourselves here. I'm not going to play myself. You're playing yourself, not you. You know, I'm talking about society.
I agree with what Rick said, and I point it out to women all the time. Y'all sit there and y'all act like y'all want something, but you don't really want it. What you want is for somebody to do it how you like it, make you feel good, but you're not always investing in how they like it or what makes them feel good. It's basically a lot of women use men, and y'all sit there and act like y'all don't.
Both ways.
No, but that's the point. The difference is the good guy. It's not both ways. He's actually trying to get something out of you, and you use and women use the excuse of it goes both ways. No, you're using him.
Like what, Sean?
Like getting him to do something that you need done, but yet you ain't willing to provide anything for it.
Like what? Sex? Like where are we
whatever
going?
If sex, time, relationship is what he wants and you know it, but yet you taking from him but you ain't willing to give to him, yes, that's manipulation, and that's what women use men for.
He's not willing to give. If a woman is spending her time with you,
no, he's spending his time with you. Stop that. That goes both ways. We spending time together.
Okay, so other than time, you're talking about sex.
I'm talking about you ain't giving me nothing with time. Let's get that clear. Your time is not worth more than mine, so you ain't giving me nothing. Stop that. You ain't giving me no time.
That's crazy because
no, you're not giving me no time.
Valuable. So
I'm exactly, and if I'm spending it with you, I'm putting the same value you putting in. So let's negate that.
You can't say that she's not giving you anything.
What I'm saying is she's not giving. That's negated because you're giving it, he's giving it. So that's not even
so that's the equal exchange. Right. So what else would you like, Sean? What else?
If I'm coming over to take you out to dinner, if you're not interested in me, why you let me take you out to dinner?
Well, I think that those women just use men because I agree with you. Because I'm not going.
I'm talking about those women.
I'm not going, and that's crazy. Like,
well, I'm talking about those women, which is the majority.
to go out with somebody you don't like just for food is giving poor. So to me,
you go out for food, you go out to have fun, you go out for a lot of different reasons, but you go out with somebody you're not interested in is the point that I say you're using them.
So you're saying, why are you not being authentic, right?
Exactly. We use honest, we use truthful, or we use manipulation earlier. That's women manipulating.
Okay, so but you say that women say it goes both ways, but it does. Women will do that to get food or money.
Right. So why do they get mad when men are doing it?
Get sex out of women.
Right. And my point is that they're both wrong. Whether it's a woman doing it or whether it's a man, but just men are usually the men who get we're bad guys because we're doing it. No,
I'm saying it's no wrong and right. I'm saying it's the game. I'm saying it's just the way it goes, and the only way you can benefit from it is that you are standing on what your non-negotiables are and what you actually want when it comes to a physical and emotional relationship with a person. I have no problem with a woman who had, I ain't gonna say a lot of bodies, because a lot of bodies is a lot of bodies, but I'm saying a reasonable sex life, and she finally finds out, hey, I've been sleeping with all these dudes, right? And it's not been getting me nowhere. Maybe I need to chill the fuck out. Right? I have no problem with that. What I'm saying is that don't be no liar about it and act like, you know what I'm saying? Make it like it's going to lead to nothing. Right? No matter what y'all say, if we spend time, that time, what Sean was saying is time is a zero-sum game, right? I'm giving you my time, which is valuable. You giving me your time, which you consider valuable, and that's cool, right? But if I'm the one coming out of pocket all the time, no matter what you say, I'm taking you out to eat so I can fuck you eventually. No matter what y'all say, y'all can try to spruce it up. Oh, he's being romantic, and I like when a man plan dates and take initiative. It's all the same shit. What type of woman are you? If you saying that you don't want to have sex till marriage, then why you was fucking at 15? Oh, I was young. I didn't know no better. Oh my God. What they say, her frontal lobe wasn't developed looking ass. All y'all do is lie. Not you, right? But all women do. Y'all liars, bro. Y'all liars. When you was 15, you was hot in the fucking pants. The boy you thought was cool and you wanted to give him some pussy. And then y'all say, just for the sake of saving her as a man, even though I like her, right? I came up and talked to her. I make the effort. I pay for dates. And I'm trying to get some pussy. So when you give me some pussy because you ain't did what you supposed to be to convince me you're a wife, I'll supposed to be like, nah.
I think that's equivalent to a woman coming across a good man that's not for her. Like that woman wasn't for you, right? She didn't prove her. She didn't prove.
That's not equivalent. No, that woman did not live up to her parties of being a wife. That's what he said.
It's your job to convince me to stay.
She didn't say
it's not.
That wasn't a good woman. A good woman is a wife. A good man.
I'm not. Listen. I'm not even saying she's a good or bad woman. I'm saying she's not a wife, right? This what y'all, again, y'all want us to do your work for you. You want me to convince myself in my head like y'all do and play fantasies and run bullshit through my own head. You know what? I really like her, bro. I think hey Frank, I really like this girl, man. I think she could be the one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, what's up? What she do for you? Nothing, man. But she's really pretty, man. I done took her out to dinner 4 times, man. I think she's the one. No, it's your job to convince me to stay. It's your job. And we said this before, my shit is circular because it's true. I'm so sick of y'all. I love y'all, but I'm sick of y'all, right? My shit is circular because it's true, right? Every man that was married met his wife when he was running through some hoes.
Not our pain.
One out of how many? Is that the majority or minority?
we're looking for the minority around
Is
here.
that the majority or minority? Again, y'all want to first again.
majority
Our
ain't
shit is circular. Frank, listen, Frank, listen. Right? Because our shit is circular, right? Again, y'all want to focus on the minority. Well, Sierra, she got Russell Wilson. She got Russell. Hey, hold on. Cassie's husband, that's the man everyone should have. He accepts her with all her fucking. I mean, a man peed in her mouth, but that's the real man.
He's a real man. Like I said, women are a real man in relation to what they want.
I wasn't agreeing with all that.
Not you, right? But y'all, Marty, y'all looking bad as fuck out here. Y'all just don't know it yet. Because y'all lie amongst each other and then y'all all fall into the bullshit and make it the culture like the where them fans at. Y'all got babies on fucking Instagram dancing and shit. Y'all goofy out here and y'all expect people to take y'all seriously. Y'all gonna get ran through and wet butted. That's what y'all gonna get.
Yeah.
It's what the fuck it is, bro. Ain't no incels. Men just not dealing with y'all. Y'all ain't worth the squeeze. Y'all fucked up.
Well, there are some men that aren't worth the squeeze either. Like,
no doubt.
We know that, though.
And you never hear us not say that.
We know that.
We talk about Pookies and Ray Rays
all the time. All the time.
Don't we, Frank?
Yes.
And when we see some weird shit, we point that shit out. Like, you goofy ass nigga, man. Come on, what you talking about? Goofy ass.
Men call men out. That's what we just like even in our homie circle. Like when my boys do some wild shit and they come and tell me about it, thinking that it's not some wild shit, I'll be like, nigga, that's some wild shit.
And so much so, Frank, listen, right? And listen, Precious, right? So much so, we now have proof, even though we all knew it, right? That Tory Lanez didn't shoot that girl, and we still blame that nigga. Man, you shouldn't even put yourself in that situation, dog. Man, you know what's gonna happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Your dick gonna get you in these places.
Right.
Any other questions? Can we move on?
You're banging up two hyenas and you got them both in the same car.
And we still blame him. Blame him. And they talk about men now that y'all need to stop this, bro. Y'all are looking bad, bro.
Black men have always, not always, but black men are we really hold each other accountable a lot. Just a lot. I mean, and it just goes on, and we act like we don't, but we do. We do. I mean, so it's listen, we waiting for you women to catch up to us.
Who you acting in front of? Because if you act like you don't, but you do.
I don't act like I do. My boys, they say some dumb shit. I'm calling them out on it. They say it in front of anybody too. Like, you know, now like we had a group function. I'm saying if we had a group function or something like that, and it's like, of course. But I'm gonna pull them. I'm like, bro, you know that was some dumb ass shit.
I got a better one, Frank. I got one for you. Like when a guy gets fat, like I'm overweight. Your buddy said, man, you're a fat bastard, man. Go do something about it. But women say, well, you look pretty, man. You look good in that shirt. You look good in that 5'6". You need an 18.
Keep squeezing in that shirt.
Yes, I had some workmen over here the other day.
When women hold other women accountable, it's the minority of women that will hold a woman accountable. For example, you have a woman who's overweight, right? Majority of the women will tell her she looks okay. Then she got that one sister or that one aunt or that one, grandma in the family. Like, girl, you need to lose some weight. You're getting big. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but you need to do something. Go to the gym.
And who is she listening to?
And who she's listening to is the majority.
Of course.
It doesn't mean that women aren't holding other women accountable. It means they're listening. They're still floating downstream with the dead fish. So the minority's voice is not as loud as the majority's voice.
It's a whisper.
But y'all taught me a word the other week. I think it was R. Payne who taught it to me.
What's that?
Exception. Those are the exceptions. We're not talking about the exceptions. We're talking about the majority. The majority is point blank, period. The majority is KKs and Keishas. It's not like how we got Pookies and Ray Rays. Well, y'all got Shay Shays and KKs. because that's the regular. The majority is that mentality, point blank period, rolling their eyes, looking away, all of that nonsense.
That's the statue in Times Square. That's what they're telling the majority is the statue in Times Square. The big burly woman with her hips and cricking her neck back.
It's about how powerful of a statement that is, how good that looks. Now, if you saw a fat man in that same scenario and he wasn't a sumo wrestler, you would be sitting there clowning it.
I should go down there and tell the guy make a sculpture of me and shit. Put me in Times Square.
We about to replace Sean with his brother, man.
So I mean,
I'm just talking shit.
I missed the first video or whatever.
So we ain't going back. So let's.
No. I'm not asking you to go back. I'm not gonna ask you.
We're gonna get on to the Diddy case. If you're just tuning in, definitely hit the like button. Let us know that you're here. Let us know where you're watching from. How did you hear about the Real Precious? We're gonna get into the Diddy trial. I found some footage, some Nancy Grace footage, and some people that she has been interviewing about the trial. And then I have two videos from a creator who actually loops in how these things are crimes. That what Diddy is doing are crimes. So we'll
be nice to hear that. Be nice to hear that.
I'm just curious, Josh Ritter, you're so busy planning how you can destroy Dawn Richard on the stand, how you can tear her testimony into shreds. You tell me, after all this, and this is after a federal multi-count indictment, there he is, the night of his arrest, with a hotel room stuffed with Astroglide, multiple bottles of baby oil, all sorts of lubricants, sex aids, and tons of cash and drugs. I mean, the man can't help himself. He is a criminal from the beginning to the end. This is the night of his arrest.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that. It doesn't look good. You're absolutely right. Here's the thing, though, that the defense is going to have to continue to hammer home. And maybe this is becoming a hill too high to climb. But it's the idea that as deviant as this is, as outrageous as it is, where is the crimes here? I know we're hearing a lot of testimony about really kind of sick behavior, but have we heard a lot about him understanding that consent was not being given? Have we heard a lot about criminal enterprise? Those are the prosecution's going to have to connect.
Okay, you're actually making my teeth hurt. Does he understand lack of consent? According to the state, the women were drugged out of their gourds. Didn't you hear about that Louis Vuitton bag stuffed full of ecstasy, coke, pot, Plan B birth control? I don't mean just one Plan B birth control pill. I mean a whole Louis Vuitton bag. Sydney Sumner, tell him what was in the Louis Vuitton bag that Combs carried constantly.
There was Klonopin prescribed for Frank Black, which is an alias that Combs used very frequently when booking hotel rooms for freak-offs. And they also found pink powder, sometimes referred to as pink cocaine or Tulis, and that tested positive for both ketamine and ecstasy.
Joining me now so we can further explain it to defense attorney Joshua Ritter, renowned chief medical examiner, Dr. Kendall Crowns. Dr. Kendall Crowns, first of all, what is horse trank? Tell me that. Tell me all about ketamine, but dummy down for me. Talking regular people talk. What is ketamine?
So ketamine is an anesthetic. What it does is it induces a trance-like state, distorting your perception of sight and sound and your reality around you. It makes you feel disconnected and not in control. So it makes you very easily made to do things that you wouldn't necessarily do if you had your wits about you. And it's used to facilitate sexual assault commonly.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, what is Klonopin?
Klonopin is in the class of benzodiazepines, and benzodiazepines produce sedation, hypnosis, or kind of make you feel disconnected. They're usually used to relieve anxiety and muscle spasms or to reduce seizures. That makes you kind of more sedate, more calm, decreases your anxiety, makes you forget what's going on, and makes you more susceptible to suggestion.
Straight out to Joshua Ritter, criminal defense attorney. I assume you can hear Dr. Kendall Crowns speaking, and I want to quote a medical doctor. One of the most common questions about ketamine is, was or is ketamine used on horses? The answer is yes. So, Joshua Ritter, could you explain to me your nonsensical question? Did Diddy know there was no consent? The women were high on horse trank, ketamine. They were using ecstasy, Klonopin, and more. And why the Plan B birth control pills for the morning after a freak off? You explain that to me. Why do you think he's charged with?
I want to know from the doctor, are those recreational drugs? Are they also recreational drugs? Are they drugs that people willingly take because they want? But I think it might be part of these, freak offs.
Oh,
I mean,
did I hear you say no?
So I did edit the video a little bit because she asked him, she said, is Plan B a recreational drug? And he said no, but she also used the deletion of a baby word. So I didn't want to play that because I don't know if we could play that on YouTube. So he said no, that it's not a recreational drug. And she's now saying, oh, did I hear you say no?
Because I think you said no.
I did say no. Here's the thing, though.
Yes,
right?
you did, didn't you? Okay, no further questions. Go ahead.
But the government has got to prove the nefarious nature of all of these things. Yeah, is it a horse tranquilizer? Sure. But is it also a recreational drug? Oh, well, then now we got another interpretation of what those narcotics are used for. Is this all part of a party lifestyle? Are they all taking it willingly? That's the problem. The government has to connect.
Okay, hold on just a moment.
So when I heard this, and I heard him, giving his spiel on, the government has to prove if it's recreational or if there's some crime attached to it. From listening to that, and then from what you guys know from the case, and so far it seems like it's a domestic violence case because we hear a lot about Cassie B&B. There are people who have witnessed this go down. There are people who have heard it go down. There are people who have been directly impacted, such as her best friend. Her best friend got hit with a hanger. And so there are people who have endured pain from Diddy. But in this juncture, in this video, they're talking about the plethora of things that he had in this Louis Vuitton bag. And this defense attorney is saying, look, the government has to prove that there is no crime attached to this. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's any crime attached to it, or this is just what they've been doing for, ages, and they party in Hollywood, and these are the drugs that they take, and so why is everyone in an uproar about it?
Hey, before you go, do you want to read those super chats, or did you do that already?
I think I only read the first one. Thank you, Arpane, for reminding me. So AP, the accountability partner, $20 super chat. That which is understood doesn't need to be explained. What's up, everyone? Every woman already knows. Let's quit BSing. Big Ant 11, $10 super chat. I'm not taking any relationship advice from Payne. I learned my lesson.
That's a good one. Let me go first. I'll be real short. Listen, I still haven't heard the crime. The problem I have with all of this stuff, first of all, I don't think he's on trial for domestic violence. I think that's already been settled.
He's not.
Is it a bad look for the jurors to say they're going to taint everything from the standpoint that he beats women? I think that's going to impact some of those jurors. But just because he has all this drug, is he on trial for drug trafficking? Maybe. If that was the case, then that's one thing. But the fact that he had drugs and the fact that the women took him to be a part of Freak Off as if they were little children and he made them do it is the problem. The women were complicit and the guys and everybody who took drugs. I don't see why women think because they took a drug and a man took the drug, they're any less or any more impaired than the guys who took the drug. So I'm just saying, I still don't see the crime. If I was on the jury, for what they got to show me where the racketeering is. There's got to be something more. And then I heard there's like some children shit involved. I have yet to hear the evidence that he is doing something to people who were not consumption adults. I mean, right now it's just salacious sex stuff so they can kind of butter up the jury to make them malleable to any other shit that they say. But where's the crime? You know, he's a cad. He's a freak, and everybody who was complicit were freaks too. You know, so when a grown man gets up there and says, you know, I actually attended. I'm not even talking about women. The men, when a grown man goes to one of the freak offs and he books over so Diddy could have his way with him, I'm sitting on the jury and saying, "You're a grown man. What are you talking about? You did this because you wanted to be famous." And women been deluding each other forever. Like every time y'all give up the box, it's a man manipulating you. That's just bullshit. It's just absolute bullshit. And I think we need to stop it. I don't think, so I still haven't heard the crime. I still haven't heard the crime.
To your point.
See, wait a minute. Nancy Grace said herself, I saw baby oil and all this. How is that relevant to a crime? Because he had a room full of baby oil.
They're trying to say that the baby oil was spiked, basically, with something.
So when you put it on your skin, it makes you go and changes you by putting the baby oil on your skin?
No, they were trying to say that it has something in it to make you relax, basically.
Well, yeah, but let's just say that's true. Let's just say that's true.
Yeah,
they all was in on it.
Well, I would say this to your point, Payne.
I'm done.
Where is the crime that he's being charged with? I agree wholeheartedly. As far as all the stuff they found, I just found out about this thing, Astroglide, from this thing. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna look it up because I've been here for the last 3 days. Astroglide, I'm like, what the hell is it? But anyway, the point is that Payne was just making, the crimes that he's charged with are not there. Now, if he was on domestic abuse, he's guilty as hell. And he will be locked up, but that's not the charges they have him on. If he was with assault, yeah, but the charges, it's hard to find, and all of the things that they're bringing out are him abusing drugs. They keep on mentioning these women who are on drugs. He was on it too. He's a drug addict. He was in the same boat. He didn't force them to take those drugs. So guess what? Women often are there for this one word that is the word that haunts women all the time. I want to have fun. That's what they were there for, fun. And when they're there for fun, a lot of times they get manipulated into these scenarios and then want to revert back to when they're sober. Oh, did I do that? No, I didn't mean to do that. And then start pointing blame at people who aren't the same way as Payne just said. If a man took ecstasy and he wound up doing some homosexual things, don't be blaming the other guy. Blame yourself for taking that drug, and that's what it made you do. Don't sit there and make that other person who had or who provided the drugs the person who, oh well, he shouldn't have had it there. Nah, you shouldn't have took it. How about that?
This is the thing, man. This whole case is, of course, is gonna divide everybody amongst two sides, man. So you got the sides that people think that because Cassie is a victim that she cannot be held accountable for her actions. Most of these freak offs, they didn't include other women. They included other men. And what was his name? Gene Deal. So allegedly, Diddy would show her how to give it, basically. Not by telling her, but that's what his guy Gene Deal said. Diddy also, basically, right? And also, they said that what Cassie said, he would, the guy would have to go inside of her, hence the plan B's, and then they would go to the other room and he would get it out and put it on his nipples. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are just some freaky ass gay
Caligula shit.
You feel me? But this is all this, like, cuck cuckolds is like one of the biggest, you know what I'm saying, one of those corn what is it, categories in the world. People love you and what is it, the lead attorney, he said he got offered plenty of times down in Atlanta to be a bull in a relationship, a black man who comes in and bangs out a white wife, you know, while her husband watches. Like, these are things that literally happen all the time. And now, if you and another point that was brought up, just the drugs, like Diddy was drugged out. So, like, when you're like, well, see, the thing about Nancy was she is disgusted by the things that Diddy is doing or has done. And so she is trying to make it seem like everything that he done was a crime. Everything that he did was not a crime. You know what I'm saying? Now, if this was a DV case, y'all got, like, we got him. Like, he out of here. You know what I'm saying? He is out. He's out under the jail. But this ain't a DV case. This is a RICO case. You know, now they're gonna say that the intimidation factor, the fact that he got the money, and the fact that, oh, well, she tried to leave, and after she cheated and all of this, and so he paid her. He ransomed her mom and them for $20K to not release so those are the things that they're trying to put under the RICO. You know what I'm saying? It's all about intimidation, the dudes that they hired to come into the freak off situation and all of that. So, oh, he did this in Miami and New York and LA. And so they're trying to say he flew these people out and he used this money. But generally, like, RICOs is for organizations. It's not for two people having freak offs.
Well, he does have an organization because he has people who work for him. He has people who witness the things that he's done. He has people who have, like I said, he had a second runner, a person who would do the things that the original person wouldn't do, which means if you have a second runner, that means you don't want people to know what you're doing.
But it wasn't, it wasn't the type of situation. So yes, like, there was a guy who was setting up, like, yo, let me get him drugs, because they knew who they could go to get the drugs. As far as that type of stuff, he was setting up the hotels, making sure the stuff was in there. But but Cassie was setting up all the freak offs.
That was her job under Diddy.
Yeah, but that's
right though.
If she's setting them up, that means someone had to instruct her to set them up.
That's not even true though. Because
God damn it.
Because if she okay, hold on. Because let's just say, okay, but we get it.
19.
No, she wasn't. She was 20. She was 21. 22.
Her frontal lobe was not developed yet, Frank. What are you talking about?
No, they were 20. They were 20. Yes, but she was dating Ryan Leslie at that time, and she didn't get with Diddy until she was 21, 22.
Her frontal lobe
was dating Ryan Leslie at that time.
He has been in the game, so Diddy knows about these parties, these freak offs.
Guess what? She
knew. Diddy didn't start this. He's not the originator of a freak off.
Right, and she can't say that either, because she was dating a music producer, a high-end music producer at the time. You think Ryan Leslie wasn't involved in no freak offs, or you think Ryan Leslie wasn't taking her to parties? Then we heard the same thing about Aaliyah, didn't we?
Yeah, but is Ryan Leslie have the same power?
He was one of the biggest music producers.
Yeah, but is he bigger than Diddy?
So
that's not you're missing the point.
That's not a crime being big.
You're missing the point.
No, it is. It's not a crime being big. It's not a crime being big. However, more money, more problem. Like, he has.
But this is what I. But the reason why you're saying that based on Diddy is because Diddy was around, had Big and all these people. But when you got a Ryan Leslie, a Babyface, and I'm not using him in this, but if you got a Babyface Edmonds, these people are music producers. They're the biggest music producers in the game. They're writing Neo writes songs for Beyonce. Like these people are huge.
But they're not Diddy. They
don't have to.
They
That's not. You're looking past the point of what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're 19 and if you're 17, I think she started dating Ryan Leslie when she was 17. When you're trying to get into the room with these type of people, what was his name? Pretty Richard, ain't that what his name was? I think back in the day, Little Richard. He said back in the day, he had a video that came out that he said, yo, we get in there with these music producers. Sometimes they give us some drugs, and sometimes we do what we gotta do. But the drugs makes it all go away. So if they telling you this from the 80s, you know exactly what the hell is going on in the 90s and 2000s.
Ryan Leslie beating her? Was Ryan Leslie?
That's not what we're talking about.
She didn't say.
And that's not even what we're talking about, because we all seen the video. So everybody is saying that we agree with you. We agree with the part when it comes to the beatings and all of that. We agree with that. But the guy who got on the stand yesterday or Friday, Diesel, or what did they call it? They called him the Crusher, the Punisher. He said, yo, I've been working as an exotic dancer for a long time. I seen women. I could tell when women don't want to be touched. I can tell when they're uncomfortable because I've been in the environments a long time. He said, not one time was I in the room with Cassie where I felt like she did not want me.
If she was on ecstasy, if she was on drugs,
God damn it.
if she's on drugs,
yeah. And matter of fact, he said
and ecstasy.
No, I got something for that, because he said in his testimony, he said the only drugs that was around during that time when he was with them was weed. He said we all smoke weed, and the weed was laced.
The weed was laced with ecstasy, bro. You gotta get a women something to hold on to, bro.
So that's what he said, though. I can't. He was on. I know. He was the one on the stand that said it.
But this the thing, though. So this the thing, right? So did he force the drugs down her throat? Did he make her come to the party? Right? Did he send a driver to her house? Is like the driver downstairs. She gonna drag you out the house if you don't come. No, she kept coming back for more.
Right, I agree with that. But she was in a relationship with Diddy, and so that is why she kept coming back for more. She was with the man. It wasn't like she was just an employee. She was with him.
So why did she get immunity? Did she get immunity for her testimony? Did she get immunity for her testimony?
I don't know, but I got a question for you about that.
I heard that she did.
So when she left Diddy for her now husband, and then went back to him for 96 hours to go and declined her husband's phone call because they were in a bed together at 3 a.m. having sex. What was that about?
The power, man. She couldn't resist Diddy, her great husband, the one who supports her at home and actually understands and is with her to heal her. He just couldn't beat the hold that Diddy had on her this night. Look, Diddy called and sent a text. Cassie, I miss you, babe.
Cassie obviously was
what?
Drugs alter you, right? Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't like she was in her right mind all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
like he was in his right mind all the time. And so I'm not saying that, her going back. Look, I've never been abused. I ain't never had nobody manipulate me to the point where I feel like I just you. Okay, all right. I would just leave you. But there are women who, at that age, in that arena of fame and money and fortune and promise a career, because Carisha came right on in and she got everything that Cassie wanted.
Yeah, she got peed on too.
Right, and obviously, I think she said she liked it.
It sounds like something that Diddy just liked to do.
Right. That was what he liked to do. And so if you were in a relationship with him, you signed up for that.
Young Miami came out and said I liked it.
Right.
Young Mike, no, that's what's the name. I know it's my bad.
That's what you signed up for. So when I say it's your job, when you are with someone, you both take on different roles. So if y'all are saying, oh, well, Cassie will call the people for the freak offs. Well, if she's with Diddy and Diddy told her to call the people for the freak offs, then that's what she did.
Yeah, well, that's still not a crime.
Right.
You're absolutely
and my,
right.
so my only thing is she cheated.
My question to you guys are does anybody take a prescription drug? You don't have to tell me what it is, but does anyone take a prescription drug? Arpain, I'm sure you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Not no more. I used to for my shoulders.
No.
Okay, so when you took that prescription drug and you called the prescription drug in, did you put it under someone else's name or did you put it under your name?
No, of course, it's on your name. Yeah, right. That's a prescription drug fraud is a crime. That's a crime. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm about to say, and we're also not celebrities. Mike, like all these celebrities do that type of shit. They all do that. But yeah, that's a crime, and they could try to go after the doctor too. But literally, mostly all the celebrities, they have superstars, they all have aliases that they go by, and that's how they send people to go get their drugs, their hotel rooms, and all this stuff.
And that's not why they got them in court. So
do they get it in quantities like Diddy have? It's okay to be
probably not. They ain't got money like Diddy.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know they're not on trial either, so we don't know.
No, the answer is let's say no. Diddy has he paid for his proclivities. He put money out there for his toys. That's part of his game.
Right.
So he had a lot of money and he used it to fulfill his fantasies.
Okay, let's watch this video.
He started shaking his head last week during Cassie's testimony, and it wasn't when she was talking about the super embarrassing things. It was when she was talking about his aliases of Frank Black and Frank White. So she put those names on the record as names that Diddy used. It seemed weird to me that he would get upset about that, but I thought maybe he's just a narcissist, and now people are going to realize who he was and what he was doing this whole time. But no, y'all, it goes way deeper than that. They released the photos of the evidence from the hotel room that he was staying in when they arrested him, and in the evidence was a prescription bottle for clonazepam, which is a Schedule 4 narcotic. It's kind of like Xanax, but not as strong. And it was written to who? Frank Black. And y'all get this, the address on the label was for Lifespan Medicine in Santa Monica, California. Lifespan Medicine is a concierge doctor kind of thing, so you have someone 24/7 you can call for anything you need, which seems something very much like he would have, right? So I'm assuming, this is just my opinion, that a doctor at Lifespan Medicine wrote this prescription for Diddy, but put it in the name of Frank Black, which is highly illegal. You can't write narcotics to someone in someone else's name, and you definitely can't put your address down as theirs. If the jury believes that Diddy used aliases to get drugs and to cover his track, it plays right into the racketeering charges. So when Cassie casually dropped those names last week, she didn't just out him. She gave the prosecution the string they needed to unravel this whole thing. Diddy shaking his head wasn't just denial, that was panic, you guys. As they say over at Lifespan Medicine, you only have one life, make the most of it. This case is unraveling like a movie script. Follow me for all the breakdowns, all facts, no fluff. Just follow me, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, that's just that's a crime. That doesn't prove racketeering. That just proves that he got drugs illegal. And if that's one of the charges, then that's cool. Then
what's the conspiracy? What's the conspiracy on that for a RICO? Like this don't make no. What do I know?
People comment on my video from yesterday, and they're saying, "Who cares what pills he took? It doesn't matter. He's not on trial for being a drug addict. We all know that he took pills. Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter." And while everyone's right, he's not on trial for being a drug addict. You're missing the big point here. The big picture is this all feeds into RICO. All the testimonies that we've heard so far are part of RICO. They're all building this picture, this grand picture of what a criminal enterprise he was running, right? Which RICO stands for Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organization. This was established in the 1970s to help take down like the mobs and mafias. RICO requires proof of at least 2 predicate racketeering acts within the last 10 years while in or controlling a criminal enterprise, like Bad Boys. So how does this alias prescription fit into all this? Let me tell you. So this would set up a pattern of illegal activities, which would be the predicate acts that are required for RICO. So if we could prove that Diddy, in fact, did have this prescription written to him by a doctor, and they wrote it in the wrong name, then that would show one, prescription fraud, which is a huge deal, regardless of what everyone in my comments thinks. It's a big deal. It's a federal crime. It's a felony, and get up to 5 years for your first time. And if he was getting something like Klonopin written to him, I can only imagine what other prescriptions he was having written to Frank Black and that he was getting filled himself. There's conspiracy to obtain controlled substances, which is also a felony, and identity or healthcare fraud. They could also use this to show that he had enterprise control and structure by saying that he controlled the doctors by having them commit the illegal acts and then staff by having them conceal the illegal acts. They could show that he used an alias to avoid detection. That would show deliberate organization and structure, which are key components of a RICO enterprise. This could also show concealment of like broader activity. If they could prove that any of these drugs were used or given to Cassie or other victims or associates of his, and then that they were used like Cassie said they were to control her and get her to do these freak offs, then now we're into sex trafficking. So do you see how we worked our way down from fraudulent prescription written to alias all the way to sex trafficking? And it doesn't have to be sex trafficking. It can be any of the things along the way that we just discussed, but that's where everyone's mind goes automatically, and they want to get back to that, which I understand. That's the juicy, gossipy part of it, but it's all of these little things on top of each other, which makes a RICO act. So while I get that everyone wants like this huge, juicy story immediately, we don't have that right now, and it's going to take like putting all of these puzzle pieces together to prove RICO against Diddy and watch him go to prison for life. Follow me, I'll keep you updated.
Every one of those angles is an angle where they could get knocked down. So really all I hear is that he got illegal drugs.
It's not even that they can knock it down. The point is they using RICO to charge him for something because they can't get him for what they want to get him for.
That's right. And where's the co-conspiracy?
Right.
So again, what's the real crime?
And the judge even asked him like, yo, like, I get that y'all are trying to show that he's a bad person, or y'all trying to show his character. So like all these people right now are just character witnesses. But the judge said, I'm not seeing RICO yet. Like, where's the RICO?
The judge actually said that?
Yeah, the judge said, he said, I understand what's going on. I'm just not seeing RICO yet. He said, I'm not seeing coercion. He said, I can see that he had control over Cassie. I'm not seeing the coercion part, and I'm not seeing RICO yet. That's what the judge said.
And again, influence is like influence. Everybody has influence over somebody. Like I said, Cassie didn't say no. Why didn't you leave? Ain't nobody got that much control over you in a spot that you don't want to be, right? Again, like I said earlier, there's some things that a person can't make me do. It's not, he didn't make her do nothing she didn't want to do. These people are willing participants.
This is a tough situation.
To be in a relationship with Diddy. And like y'all said earlier, everyone manipulates everyone to get what they want. That's what
right. So how many times do you think he should be able to get away with this with her? A year, 2, 3, 4?
He's getting 10? What he wants, and she's getting what she wants, right? So however long that takes.
Right. So what's the crime in it?
The crime would be him doing the things in order to get her to do those things.
Right. So why he ain't on trial for them?
The crime is you getting the prescription drugs that are not prescribed to you, and you're getting them in large volumes and giving them to other people, these prescription drugs that are not even prescribed to you or those people.
Right. I got you. Right. So so that's information that's been released, right? Is that the basis of the case, do you feel? In your personal opinion?
It's building the case. We're only 2 weeks in?
The basis of the case.
The basis
is the basis.
Is the sex trafficking and the
racketeering. Sex trafficking and racketeering.
So is he's not on trial for illegal drugs?
No.
He's not on trial for illegal drugs, but the way that he obtained them and the way that he is using them. Is
it even a charge?
That's what I'm saying. If it's these things, like I get what you're saying. Like they're illegal, but they're not a part of the case. So
they're illegal in their own separate ways, I should say. They're illegal in their own separate ways. However, when you put it all together and the operation that he does have going on,
they already said, but multiple people like who are reporting on this literally said there's no organization. I get what
I got you, Frank. Hold on, I got you, bro. When Sean Diddy Combs is not current, while Sean Diddy Combs is not currently facing drug charges, and this is per the Googly machine now. Drug charges in his federal trial, the use and presence of drugs are heavily intertwined with the allegations against him. Here's the breakdown. Drugs as a tool in alleged sex trafficking and assault. Blah, 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 blah. I can go through that. What, and again, not to disrespect that, but that's what sis just covered, right? Drugs used to maintain control. Same thing she just covered, right? Drug evidence found during raids, right? But number 4, no specific drug charges are in the federal indictment. It is important to note that the federal indictment against Combs focuses on sex trafficking, racketeering, and related charges, not drug possession or distribution. However, the presence of drugs and their alleged use to facilitate sex crimes are key components in the government's case. In summary, although Combs isn't explicitly charged with drug offenses in this particular case, drug use and its role in alleged sex trafficking and coercion are central themes in the trial. The discovery of drugs during raids and victims' testimonies about being drugged reinforced the prosecution case against him. That's per the Google.
They got to prove that they got to prove that they didn't take those drugs willingly. That he fought, and that's huge.
And you have to prove, So you have to prove that he gave them to them for the negative aspects of the drug rather than the what do you call it, like the sexual part of it, like, you know, like so to say like the clozapine can relax you, get rid of your anxiety, and it, like one of the guys that the dude the Punisher, he said like there was a couple times I couldn't perform because of he was like because like the pressure of it. Oh, okay, here man, I got a little thing for you to calm down and things like that. Here's this, like you gotta prove that he gave that to you to say like, yo, I'm trying to drug you in this situation.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
gave you a drink and you didn't know what was in it.
Right. I gave you this because right now you couldn't perform. You was a little nervous. I got you. Listen, this is a little, and it's also a muscle relaxer. Like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like here you go. So you give this to you can't, come on, bro. I got you here. Take this and chill out for a little while, you know, and I'll work her up. Whatever the case. Like, but you have to prove that he was giving those to those people unwillingly, with them not knowing what these drugs was like, and he was giving them for what our pain is saying, where it's like, yo, I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna slip this shit in your drink, you don't know that's in your drink, and now you good to go. Like now you ready to
prove
go.
That, then we got a case. If you could prove that he's been drugging people against their will and they didn't know it, that's a real crime too. But I don't think they could prove that.
It's the same thing. Remember what Bill Cosby said? We always taking Quaaludes.
Yeah.
We always popping ecstasy. Like it's the same shit.
But they was able to get Cosby, so
yeah, they was able to get.
They had to throw that out too because what he said. But you know, here's the main issue that I see, and this is the problem I have, is that when men take drugs, there's one standard, and when women take drugs, there's another. That's my problem. And they said when everybody's drugged up, the only person it matters for is women. Is when they're having sex. Like, you know, it's just really crazy to me.
Same thing with alcohol too, right?
Yeah,
y'all can be drinking.
The man is the aggressor. Majority of this.
We're talking about this particular case where a woman's in the room knowing what's going to happen. We're not talking about a guy took somebody into a hotel room against her will and she was drunk. When a man and a woman is drunk, when they're both drunk, listen, some men can't perform when they're really drunk. And you know, so just the fact that he can get it up means he's less drunk than a woman who's giving it up.
And yeah,
When
and they'll say that
she has the morning after quick.
she wasn't able.
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
she wasn't able to
it's an
consent. So
unfair
that's what they'll
balance.
say.
It's like a woman is not doesn't have any agency over her body when she's impaired, as if the man does. That when he's impaired,
necessarily that.
well, that's the way the
I'm
law works.
It can't be taken advantage of while he's impaired because he can. But more times out of not, you hear women being taken advantage of in those circumstances, not men.
There may more times out of not women use that as an excuse, and men who make the laws acquiesce to that bullshit. Right? Because most women who are in the positions that they're in is because they want to be in those positions. Most men don't go around essaying women. Most men don't go around essaying women. You know, so if I, you know, so I could have an innocent night with a chick and she has the morning after regrets, and now my whole life is ruined. You know, so all I'm just trying to say is it's an unfair. It's just not right. I mean,
there's a lot of double standards that we all don't agree with.
Yeah, but the double standards ain't supposed to be able to put me away for life. You know, that's what I was saying. My whole life should be destroyed over a double standard.
You're absolutely right.
Not when it comes to the law.
Boy, and watch where we lay.
Oh, not only that, it was 25 years ago. You know, 25 years ago, right? So I mean, it's the whole thing is just broken. It's broken. It's broken. And so that's what I'm saying. I still haven't seen the crime on this because they're not charging them for the things I see as a crime, you know, the drugs and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, he might go down. But it's just like it's almost like the Tory Lanez deal.
I think the one thing that they can that they're gonna try to stick in the whole thing is the sex trafficking because he was flying because they were flying the prostitutes out from state to state. Now you know where they're and I think that that's also kind of broad too because
I haven't got to that yet. Then it must not have got to that yet.
And that was it. Well, they talked about it a little bit because they said that Cassie said that they had these freak offs in Miami, Vegas, and all these, and they were flying them to.
They had the white trip. Was he cutting out? Oh,
okay. Yeah, they said that they were flying them to these places, and so you know, I think that they could try possibly get them on that. And that's something that's going to affect a lot of people too, because now the whole sex trafficking thing can go out to you flying a woman out. Like,
well, you know, he had those white parties that probably turned into freak offs back in the day. They were flying to Africa. They were flying everywhere. He had like these planes that he rented out. Everybody in white, they taking these long trips to a destination trips and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what the case that's really close to this one, the Epstein, not the
Epstein.
Or Weinstein, not Epstein, but Weinstein, the one that Candace Owens is talking about, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah, she's giving.
You know,
they're saying that Weinstein is he's actually innocent.
If you listen to the case they made against him, it's just all pure bullshit. Pure bullshit, and he didn't get a fair trial. This was in the Me Too era thing. I'm trying to say I think the walls is crumbling down. Now, I'm not saying Diddy won't get convicted because he clearly is guilty of something.
Right, for sure.
You know, there's no doubt about it. But I mean, I think when they do this RICO thing, I think sometimes they stress. Look how the RICO case against Trump fell apart down in Atlanta.
Look how the one fell apart against Young Thug.
That's right. Exactly.
And people was unalived in that case.
And the guy they had as a star witness, you know, they know he did it. He walked out of jail. Right. The guy who was on the man, I forgot his name. He was
Woody. Funny. His name was Lil
Woody. Yeah. I'm just trying to say, this case ain't as strong as everybody thinks it is, even though we know the system is broken. So he might go get every minute that everybody expects that he should get, but it's not because it's on the up and up. They're going to piece it. It depends on what the jurors are. If I was on the jury, he'd be a lucky guy right now.
And what I would say is like, I think that we gotta also we gotta separate too, like what we think like what we deem as like, you know, moral and all this and all, and because what I think is starting to happen in court nowadays is it's more about, it's not about really what's illegal anymore. Like what is a crime? It's more about like what is like how we feel about what happened. Just like the whole Tory Lanez thing. Like you go to court, they bring a gun in saying, well, this gotta be something like the gun that was used. They lost the real gun. They lost the real weapon in that case, and they lost the shell. I mean the fragments that went in her foot. Like you lost the key components to the case.
Yeah.
And this
On
man was
purpose.
still and this man was still convicted for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was based off of all emotion and headlines and how big Meg was at the time, and she got McDonald's meals coming out for her and all of this. Like, it, and I think it's hard when you talk about these situations because, like, you understand that Diddy is an animal. You understand that he's a monster. You understand that he's not a good person. You understand that, you know, he's a despicable human being. But then on the other side, it's like this woman was just completely innocent and just she was so young that she didn't realize she this is and but then take away these things, right? She was with Ryan Leslie, who was 10 years older than her at 17 years old, right? Why was she with him? Because she could get something out of him. He's gonna give her good hits. He gonna give her good music. He gonna give her the best songs, the best beats. He gonna put her in the best room, the room with the other best producers, right?
Right.
And what did she do? 4 years later, she cheated with Diddy to get with Diddy. Like she right.
Leveled up.
She leveled up in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that she is on trial because I know that's where everybody gonna go. That's not what I'm saying. Diddy is on trial. I'm just saying, but to just act like this woman is completely innocent. I pray that she healed from everything that happened to her, like for sure. But we cannot sit here and just act like she's just innocent. She cheated up. And she was around Diddy all the time because Ryan Leslie was his right-hand man. So you can't tell me that she didn't hear none of this stuff beforehand. You just can't.
Oh, that's a good point, Frank. Everybody knew that Diddy was a monster.
Right. You cannot tell me.
That was one of the worst kept secrets around the people in those circles.
You're around Diddy all the time in the studios and all, and you mean to tell me you don't hear none of these things about him? Right? And then you cheat to go get with him?
The crazy part about it is, though, you only hear of him beating Cassie.
And the one that died, the lady that died.
Kim Porter.
Yeah.
Kim Porter, and he also attacked Cassie's friend. But other than that, I don't hear about Diddy putting his hands on anybody else or doing anything to anybody else. They accused him of blowing up Kid Cudi's car, but there was no conclusive over Cassie, but there was no conclusive evidence really on that. I heard really that there was a female's DNA in that car. So with him, you know, even with people knowing that he's a monster or he, you know,
from the free throw standpoint, they knew that he diddled men. That wasn't a secret. That he manipulated a lot of the men around him from the get. Here's the thing. Here's my thing on all of that stuff. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Precious. Go ahead.
I was just gonna. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Well, listen. You know what? There's a thing about Usher and Justin Bieber, right? They were around him when they were underage, right? If one of those guys got on trial and said, you know, got on the stand and said, you know, when I was 14 or 13, you know, Diddy diddled me and shit, you know, that kind of stuff. Now we're talking about crime. Now we're talking about something, because they even had, I think some part of this was, some people said sex trafficking of minors. They used to say, they're not saying it that much anymore. But somehow they had some connection with them when with him when they were underage. Right. So if that kind of stuff came out, I think that's a game changer for those kind of charges, if those are charges at all. But this whole the RICO thing and all of, I just think that they're trying to butter up the jury so it's about feelings, like Frank was saying, and not about just facts. And that matters because the jury can get swayed by what they hear. And so when the prosecutions put these pieces together, it could sound like, he's guilty of something. I don't know what it is, but he's got to go down.
I mean, they did the raid and all of that with the intent of locking him up. So there's obviously a reason why they did that. I don't think they would just, raid a man's house and want to seize his assets and things like that if he did nothing wrong. So there's obviously a reason.
Okay. I'll grant you that, but they still have to prove that case because of where I'm.
Of course. Again, we're only 2 weeks into this trial, and the trial is supposed to go well into July. And so, with Cassie being, one of the very first people to take the stand, of course, there's going to be emotions, flying all the way around because we just, heard everything that we just saw a video that, he's beating her in the hotel. We're hearing all this stuff about, kids cutting car being blood. It's all being sensationalized now because those things are still relevant. We have just learned about those things on social media. And so that's what's at the beginning of this trial because it gets the people going. It gets the people talking, people like us who are having these discussions on social media. But Diddy has been in the game for a very long time. And so even with Cassie being on the stand, there's going to be a day where she's not going to be on the stand. And these people that have been involved with Diddy and any enterprise or any intent for coercion or racketeering and all of that stuff, I believe those things are definitely going to come out, just because everybody knows that Diddy is a monster, right? Everybody knows that he is the bad boy of the industry. So I don't know what it will be. There's talks of Diddy actually taking a stand himself. And just waving off the objection and taking the stand himself. Who knows if that'll happen? Nobody knows what is in store for the trial. And of course, I'm definitely going to continue to follow it because, someone that people think is so polished and has it going on and has all this money and has all this fame and things of that nature. We talk about men and male discipline and all that stuff, but these are the situations that men can get into if they would have discipline or be upstanding men. Jay-Z's not a saint, however he has a wife, so whatever he gets wrapped up in, they are one. That's his wife. It's not like this girl that he dated for a while and then she left him and went to another man. And Diddy and Cassie are going through their situationship. That's what they got, a situationship. They had a 10 year, they were together for a 10-year situationship. He never married her. She was somebody who thought that, hey, I can have a career if I'm with Diddy. I can have a career if I'm with Ryan Leslie. I can have a career if I'm with Kid Cudi. This is a woman who was chasing after a career. And every man that she came encounter with in the music industry knew that that was her goal. I don't think her goal was to have sex for 96 hours. I don't think her goal was to get beat and dragged. I don't think her goal was to have her mom extorted for $20,000 because Diddy felt like he invested all this stuff and she tried to leave him and he want to ask, her parents for money. I don't think those are the things that, she wanted, but those are the things that came with the person that she could get these things from. And this person, Diddy himself said, she's moldable. She's at an age where I can mold her. I can, she's right where I want her. And so he knew what he was doing, even though she didn't know what was to come. And I'm sure as time went on, there was no, they were making statements that people were saying, Diddy was like, well, people go missing, and we already have people in the grave missing that we're dealing with Diddy. So the it's easy for us common folk who don't have the money, who don't have the fame, who don't have the spotlight, who don't have the keys to the city. Well, he ain't got them no more. But it's easy for us to say, oh, well, why didn't she just leave? People that are not being, beat, people are not being dragged, people who aren't falling against bricks and having, the white meat show and having to get stitches and sent off to hotels to get better because you don't want anybody to know that you beating on this girl. And so, even something like that, her being sent off to a hotel and having to heal, that's all part of the operation. That's all part of an operation. And what that operation is going to boil down to, we just don't know yet. We're just going to have to,
This is crazy. This is crazy. I agree with a lot of things you're saying. I just don't. When I think about the RICO court, when I think about the RICO cases and the reason why RICOs was started, they were to stop the mafia, like the mob, the people who were blowing people cars up all the time, the people who were killing people for power, they were killing people or unaliving people, all the time. They were, what I'm saying, they were wreaking havoc, they were moving drugs, they were extorting people over here, they were gaining all this money. Diddy was literally spending money. Like spending money on escorts. He was spending money on drugs, spending money on escorts, spending money on hotels. Like he was like when the mafia were doing things, they were doing things to gain power and money. He already has the money, he already has the power, and he was losing money. So and when you think about the RICO charge that they tried to put on Young Thug, that was again about they were saying that they were a gang. They were using lyrics. They were saying that they unalive people. They were selling drugs. They were doing all these different things, but it was like this person here, they had all these different people that had all these different jobs, just like a real crime organization.
Right.
A lot of this stuff that was going on, people saw, or people may have known about and didn't say nothing. Like when Don Richards got on the stand and said, oh, he hit her with a skillet. Oh, he threw the skillet out her, but she ducked. Oh, he tried to put eggs on her that was in the skillet. Oh no, the eggs that he threw the eggs at her. Like it just like, which one was it, Don? That's why when they brought are
y'all defending Diddy, or are y'all just saying that? I'm asking a question, so I'm not saying that you're saying anything. Okay. I'm asking a question. So are you defending Diddy, or are you saying that there are no crimes that he should be?
I'm saying that there's definitely crimes, and there's definitely some illegal things that happen. And I'm saying that Diddy was a monster. He definitely controlled Cassie in more than one way, in more than one aspect, right? I'm also saying at the same time that nothing is 100%. Like there's multiple aspects of what is going into the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you say that there's sex trafficking, and then you say, well, we were flying escorts out to different cities and states. Now I can say, oh, okay, yeah, I can see how they can say that this was sex trafficking right here. How they can label this or put this under the realm of sex trafficking, right? But then when you're doing all these other things, when you're trying to when you understand what a RICO really was meant for, and how they're trying to use RICOs in everything now to get everybody. Like they're trying to use RICO under like everybody now. Like it doesn't matter. Like if you're a celebrity, you're a star that's going to jail. You're the ex-president at that time. Like they're throwing RICO out there like left and right. And
All right,
like
so
I think that's what's messing people up is because it's like, what is a RICO? Like now, it's just like, what is a RICO now?
all right, so okay, so let me answer the question. We defending Diddy. There's no doubt that his original organization was to make music and make money. His organization was built to be a music enterprise, not a RICO enterprise. Now he used his money to fund his proclivities. Right. So did some of his organization morph into a conduit that probably could be used for nefarious reasons? Of course, we see that. So I'm saying that if you put a man on trial, it can't because we feel that he's guilty. I mean, the sex stuff and all that kind of stuff we see right now, to me, like you said, it's early in the trial. I need to see how they're piecing together the real crimes. I still don't see it. There's no co-conspirators, that he had legitimate wings. Like some of these mob bosses, no part of their organization was legitimate, right? So here's what I'm telling you. He's not up for tax evasion. So Diddy was paying taxes, right? So that's one thing I haven't heard now, right? He was making money, so he had to declare his money through taxes. And the one thing I haven't heard is that he's evading taxes. Maybe that might come up later. So he's paying the government taxes on the money he was making, and a lot of that was from legitimate sources. But he was funding his proclivities with that money, his nefarious. And the thing that Diddy is definitely guilty of is that he is a demon. That's his guilt. And when I say demon, I literally mean it. He actually can look at a person and says, I will get you your desires. You just have to sign your life over to me. And we can't, and I can't stand when people try to discount the fact that people make deals with the devil all the time. And many of those people are women. Cassie made a deal with the devil with her eyes wide open. And then once she got tied into that and realized that deal, all of a sudden, is not giving her it's always a price to pay. When you know your soul has been captured, at some point it's too much and you want to get out of it. And when she wanted to get out of it, she found out that she was so deep inside that the way out is exactly how it went for her. And so she's not an innocent player. And I'm just using her as a metaphor because there's probably other women in that and men who made these deals with him. So I'm just saying, if they want to put him in jail, that's fine, but they got to make it into a crime that's on the books, not just because he was a bad guy.
Right.
But if being a demon was a crime, then the trial should be over already because that part of it is true.
And if it was like a DV case, like if it was a physical abuse case, like he'd be long gone.
So I am not making a case that he should be walking free. He's a bad guy, but the state, the federal government has to prove what they're saying, and maybe it's coming. Maybe some of that stuff is coming, but all the salacious sex stuff, to me, is not a crime.
It's just sex.
Not if the people were consenting adults. We got a lot of freaks out there,
and I think it's hard too. And I know that you had mentioned the victim stuff, and I get that too, and I understand that because we don't know like how that life is like as a victim, and and like wanting the love and all of that type of stuff like that. But I reacted to this woman. She was saying that she was like, she wanted his like love and affection, and she wanted to be his girlfriend. Like she wanted to be his number one girl. So she was, wanting to do whatever she had to do to become his number one girl. And like that. And so she just continued to do it. but then you're also texting him things like, I when he said like one more freak off, LOL, and she's like, I want to do freak offs for the rest of my life with you, or whatever. It didn't like then like a couple minutes later, like, no, okay, you know what, I don't want to do freak offs no more, or something like that. But just the fact that, you know what I'm saying, she's saying like she wants to do freak offs with him for the rest of her life. She was saying in that moment, like, I only want to do them with you because like I want to be your wife. Like, so like she wanted to win him over. So she was doing a lot of these things. And like I said, like Diddy is he's not a good person. Like, and I don't think that yeah, and I think that more than likely he's gonna go to jail for something. Like, I don't know what, like, and like I said, it could be the sex trafficking or whatever the case may be. He like cool, whatever it is. Like, I don't care if he goes to jail. I'm not gonna lose no sleep over it or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that in more than one way he deserves it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like there are some other aspects of this case that are just kind of like
They
that are kind of just
they need to come out. They still need to come out. And
Yeah.
there's another thing, and this is where I see a naivete of any woman. If you're in love with a man who's willing to let some other men do all those kind of things to you, at some point, you're in deep, because no man who really loves a woman will actually submit her to that kind of shit.
Right. Well,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, she was captivated by thinking that he's in love with her. That part, is the emotional tie that I would give a woman credit for, because I always say it. I got to be consistent. When women fall for men like that, they're willing to do anything. So at one point, it was for her fame. She obviously didn't really get famous the way she wanted to, right? Singing and acting and all that. But being his first mate, his Bonnie to his Clyde, I think at some point became good enough for her. I'm hanging out with this mogul and I'm Bonnie, right? Like, if you watch Bonnie and Clyde, she was like an innocent damsel when she met this guy, and then she went all the way corrupt just like him. That might be a good metaphor for a movie. And then she wasn't innocent anymore. So I might have to go watch that to see if I can see more parallels, and then put out a video on the comparison.
Kelly's wordy reaction says, when Diddy demanded that his employees purchase illegal substances, you're turning them into your criminal enterprise, which I do agree. He had his assistants, double assistants, people, when they are doing things for you, and getting your illegal substances, getting these prescription drugs that are not prescribed to you but someone else, and then you're distributing them. It says human trafficking is a crime involving the exploitation of a person for labor, services, or commercial sex. The Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000 and its subsequent reauthorizations recognize and define two primary forms of human trafficking. Sex trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting of a person for the purpose of a commercial sex act, in which a commercial sex act is induced by force, fraud, or coercion, or in which the person induced to perform such act has not attained 18 years of age. Forced labor is the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor services through the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of subjection to involuntary servitude, peonage, debt, bondage, or slavery. And so, for the mere fact that they would, they had the sex workers who would come in, but even for Cassie, there were times where if she did try to leave, if she did try to get away, he would take money. He would take, you know, her apartment, things of that nature. And so, yes, she may have willingly done all this. Yes, she did willingly do all this. Not Meg. She did. She willingly did all this. But when it's time to leave or when it's time to go away and you're making it hard for me and I can't, and now my money is wrapped up in this and you're withholding that from me, or you're asking my mom for $20,000 because you feel as though you're invested in me and I wanted to leave, and now my mom gotta, you know, take out loans, take out a second mortgage on the house, $20,000, and you're a billionaire just for you to give it back to her, and she had to go through all that trouble to get it because that's her child. That's where the crimes start rolling in. So I think that a lot of people are watching the case and they are they're just getting, you know, it's sensualized because it's Cassie, because of all this freaky stuff that, you know, Sean Diddy love, whatever he want to be called, because he has these desires. People are getting wrapped up in those things and they're not getting wrapped up in the little nuances and the details, because they always say the devil is in the details, right? The little details that are the glue that make this thing work for him, not necessarily for the people that work for him, not necessarily for Cassie. It may have worked for them as far as their daily survival. You know, they're getting paid, they're going to work. There was one assistant that said he barely had any breaks. He had to work, you know, from 4 or 8 in the morning to 4 in the morning. You know,
that's not
laws that prohibit, you know, working or making your employees work a certain amount of hours, no break, no, you know. So there are little things that people are not paying attention to, and they're saying, well, how is he being charged with this, and how does this come into play? But you know, these laws, and I'm on justice.gov, but things like this, you know, reading through it, what judges would do, what prosecutors would do, what the defense attorneys do, you know, they have gone to school to read these prints to pick those things out of what's going on with Diddy, to say, okay, well, this fits here. This applies to this. This is what this is, and this is what it means, and this is what it says, and this is what he did, and it aligns. It may not be some huge thing like dragging her across, you know, the hotel floor, and which is
can we agree that sometimes they overshoot?
I was gonna say the same thing.
Like sometimes they overshoot, and I
right. Go ahead, Frank. I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Sometimes, like, you're trying to pile charges on and pile charges on and pile charges on, so you're looking for anything that could possibly fall under that, and then you have to prove that it does. And a lot of times, when lawyers or the government try to pile things on, a lot of that shit get thrown out. That's why I said I can understand the sex trafficking. I said that I can understand the sex trafficking because they willingly paid for escorts. They flew them from state to state to have these freak offs. So that's exactly why I said that I could see like sex trafficking coming out of this and them hitting him with that charge for sure. But I'm just saying that there's some charges in there that I think are overshooting. Like that's it.
Yeah. So even with that, I was going to say the same thing. Here's the point: when the what you call it, the statute, the level of conviction has to be over a reasonable doubt. The more shit you introduce, the more doubts you also introduce, because you have to prove all these allegations. So sometimes you could overcomplicate the case, like they did in O.J. Simpson. If they had all that smoking gun evidence, they just wasted a lot of time with a lot of different things. And you got jurors up there sitting down here listening to all of this. And some things are more plausible and feasible than other things. And when you have to put somebody in jail with above a reasonable doubt, the more stuff you pile on, the more doubts you can introduce if you have a decent defense attorney, right? Which he probably has.
Yeah, he has the best defense
So,
attorneys.
so what I'm saying is, get to the point. Here's the string of evidence that shows what you said. You kind of rolled it down, like the lady in the car. Something that the jurors can piece those strings together, and you could prove every one of those rungs on that ladder. But when you start putting the salacious stuff and this character witness and that character witness, if I'm the juror, I'm saying, well, what's in it for this guy for testifying? What's in it for that guy? Why did Cassie didn't go to the cops when it was all over, but she went for $30 million, right? She wanted to be compensated for her pain as opposed to see this guy bleed. And then she turned the tables on him. If you don't give me $30 million, I'm going to tell everybody everything I know. So now who's got the upper hand? You know what I'm saying? And he broke. So those kind of things shed some doubt on her for her motivations.
Yeah, he gave her 20 million.
You know, so this like I said, he's guilty. He's not an innocent man. But when you bring him in front of our judicial system, it's more than just him now. It's to how our system works. That's the only reason why I would even be. I'm not following the trial that deeply. I'm just saying if they can manipulate the law on one person or another person, then we're all in jeopardy. If what's the law say? You know, and if he gets convicted by a jury of his peers and the evidence is that good, then he should go to jail. But if it's not, you know, he's going to jail for something. There's no doubt about that. He ain't walking out of there. He's just not. But anyway, so it's an interesting case. Every so often we get those.
It'll just be interesting to see how they continue to unravel the case, who the people who are going to take the stand, because there are some people that take the stand and it's like, okay, were they for Diddy or were they for Cassie? Like, it's like who exactly were they? Were they defending Cassie or were they defending Diddy? In this instance, there's a lot of this stuff did happen a long time ago, and so a lot of people are having to recount what happened too. A lot of this stuff happened in 2010, 2012, 2017,
right.
Like a lot of it happened a long time ago, and people have lived their lives, have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
They, mentioned how they all signed NDAs. And so a lot of times when I would imagine, I've never signed an NDA, but I would imagine that, you may remember these things, but because you signed an NDA and you're not supposed to speak about them, there may be some memories where you're just like, all right, I'm not even going to, because I know I can't talk about this. I'm not even going to put it in the forefront of my brain. Like, I'm just going to live this experience, get through it, and keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I think, a lot of people did. Diddy is obviously a huge icon in our generation. And so, this is something that is going to take a while. I do believe that he is going to get arrested. I just don't, like I said, interested in how they piece everything together. And it's just sad that it has to come down to him dealing with a woman who wanted to get her career off the ground. She's young, her parents, I know she was modeling, things like that, so it's almost like a lot of times your parents have a huge influence on kind of like where you go in life and their direction and how they guide you to where you want to go. And so while the parents got extorted for the 20,000, I'm sure that they have nights where it's just like, golly, where did we go wrong? Why didn't we steer her this way? Didn't we have her do this? And so it's a lot to go through. I'm sure it's going to be a lot to go through until July for all of these.
Well, we got a couple of things to talk. I don't know if you're getting ready to listen to parents. When Diddy made that deal with them by giving her an apartment when she was 21 and all that kind of stuff, first of all, there's just no way they actually turned their daughter over to him, even though she was a grown woman. right? So where was all of these things? But really, I want to ask you, where do you think her husband is at? Right now, he had to know a lot of the things she was doing. Maybe not all the details, but he had to know she was involved with the freak offs. Correct?
About to get there, like her husband listening to all this and people saying
Well,
that
before he listened to all that, didn't he actually know some of these things? Wasn't
he
he
was
involved?
a physical trainer. He was there. Diddy hired him to be a physical trainer. I honestly think that she got with him because he was on the inside and because he did know those things. There's no way that she could have been with somebody who was on the outside and had no clue what was going on, because that would have been she wouldn't have been able to get away, right? The people always talk about when people are abused, the questions that always come up is, oh, why didn't you leave? Why you stay there so long? Does it blah, right? And it's because they don't have either the confidence, they don't have the support, they don't have the mental stability.
Okay. So you just have to do with him.
I think that she got with him because she could cling, close to him, with him knowing all these obscene things. And who knows if she even told him everything. There could be some things he listening for the first time. And,
All right. So let me also, I did hear this though, Frank, and whoever's following this, that the lawsuit I heard was mostly his idea. Is that true?
That's what I'm hearing too. That's why a lot of
people are saying that she wanted to, as long as she was away, she said, if you could just take me away from all this. But I heard that he was pressing her for the laws to do the lawsuit.
I'm not sure, but
let me just go ahead and pull the string real quick. If that's true, I'm thinking that at some point he's gonna leave and do the Kevin Federline. He's gonna Federline her ass. Listen, I don't know what kind of men that they're making right now, but there's no way that I could marry a woman that knowing all the stuff that he knows about her. And this whole thing that he just found out in the courtroom is just some of the details that he had to already know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, you know what? You can brush your teeth, shit washes off. You know what I'm saying? So, he didn't have to bring all the pee and all that into his bedroom. Right. But to know that she was down for his crazy shit like that. And, they got 3 kids now. So I think he might be playing the long game. I just really think he might be playing the long. So he got the money. He could leave her and then do the Kevin Federline thing and then move on.
And if he leave, and if he do leave her sometime after this case, I want all them women who was coming out saying
he's a real man.
He's a real man. He's standing by his woman. That's why you date a white man instead of a black man. All of y'all to be online saying the exact same thing in the opposite way. I want y'all to be saying, damn, he pulled a Kevin Federline. We thought that he was all this and all of that, because people don't understand. They don't realize the difference in between knowing some shit and then being in court and seeing some shit. Like, there's a difference between when your girls say, oh yeah, I had sex with, about 16 guys in my lifetime. Right. But then you see that you know what I'm saying, she been messing with dude from Magic Mike over here and over there, and you're like, damn, you fucking with all these. Like, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I just think it's a different, oh, he was doing all that to you. Like, there's a difference when you gotta sit there, watch and see those things in person rather than just hear about it in passing. Like, and so, those are, even though he wasn't a part of those things, those gonna be some things that he never forget. And I don't know, maybe he is Clark Kent, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he is. I just know that shit would be hard to see, like, or hard, like it's just, that would be hard to see, man, for any man.
Well, you know what he's giving up.
Hard to see for any woman, like, would that be hard? Would that be hard to see for you if you met a dude and he was like, yo, I had sex with about 15 women, but then you seen you know, the things that he
I
was
don't think
doing
it's
to all
any.
these
I
women.
don't think there's any equivalency. I mean, a woman could be mad at that, but I don't think women strike men down.
No, I'm not saying mad. I'm not saying mad. I'm talking about like the things that he's doing or whatever the case may be. Like it could be totally different because he might not ever do those things to her, and then she see, oh man, damn, you was doing all this to her.
Yeah,
And
but
her and her.
I hear the equivalency, but I don't think it's the same. But that's just me. That's beside the point.
But I
hear what you're saying. I just think that what did I say? You know, it's not the sex act itself. When men, most of us as men in America know our women have maybe at some point slept with somebody else. We got to stop acting like we go crazy over that. We just don't. The issue really is how you're viewed by your peers. That's the thing with men, right? And the women that they choose. It's not whether she has sex with somebody else. It's the respect of your peers and the men you admire. That this man is going to walk through life knowing with this woman on his arm and his precious wife, knowing that she was as salacious as she was, he's always going to get the side eye. He might have a few close friends who might let it, but every man you encounter shaking your hand, seeing her, knowing that she was down in the dirt like that. And that's the big difference. It's not really the woman who has sex. I think women don't understand this. It's not necessarily because you had sex with somebody before. It's whether you diminish the man in front of his peers and the men he admires. That is important to men.
Well, if he was,
I mean, it really is. It just really is.
The mastermind behind this, then what would be the point? Like,
so what?
You're saying that it's different for men, and to go through that. But if he coerced her to go through with this, you're just saying he's sitting through it because of the money?
She got $30 million.
He could. You know what? Let me tell you, yes. Because women do that to men all the time. And the only reason why I'm saying that is men could play the long game as well. The Kevin Federline thing is not just a joke. And we don't have that many opportunities to do that. But look at Mary J. Blige still complaining about this. And all these women with money. There's men who use them and they can spend. They play the long game for a few years, knowing that if they leave and the laws in that state. Now he might not do this. This is just
It's just speculation.
It's just speculation. He might not do it. Maybe he's really in love. They got 3 kids, so
yeah. But Kelly, I want to respond to what Kelly said. You said there are men in relationships with sex workers. It's not impossible for him to love her anyway. We're not saying that, number one. And there's a very small percentage of regular everyday men in relationship with sex workers.
Absolutely.
Most sex workers are in relationships with other
sex workers.
So yes, like they're loving anyway because they're loving on everybody that they're in the business with, and so they end up getting with other sex workers, other ex-corn stars, other OnlyFans stars, and all that shit, so they can do that. Like that's the majority of sex workers. That's who they get in relationships with.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, but okay, is it impossible for him to be in love with her? No, right? It's not.
Sure. No,
it's not. But he's given something. He's given a piece of himself up to do that, though. That's no doubt about it. Because every man who shakes his hand, it's just there. You can say, man, your wife is. Nobody's gonna say it to his face, but that's just the way it is. That maybe with time that shit goes away. Maybe with time it goes away.
Wow.
So
they're on their third child?
Yeah, third child.
Mm-hmm. So
that's why that to me is like something just in general. I mean, they're making babies together, so there's humanity left in the woman. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she turned into. She went through this thing. The only problem I have with her is the innocent part of it. Just come clean, just like all those starlets who did the Me Too movement. They sold their souls to the devil and put a lot of men down. but it wasn't like they were all innocent. The crime was they shouldn't have had to have gone through that.
Yeah.
But they did, because they could have all been like meter maids, or they wanted to be famous. And so they were willing to sell their soul to the devil. That should at least be acknowledged.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
men in the industry have sold themselves and put their manhood on the
On the
line.
line. That's what what's my man was saying that from Hustle and Flow.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there's a video of Little Richard saying it. Like, yo, like you just go there. He said you would go to the office, and he was allegedly talking about Clive Davis and them at the time.
Right. Yeah. Oh, he's supposed to be a big offender.
Right, but he was just saying, like, at that time, like, you would just go in there, you talk to them about your business, you do a line or a couple lines, and then you do what you had to do, and you just hope that the voices in your head are not there because you did enough drugs, and then you leave, and you got the deal that you wanted, and you're able to have the money that you needed, like, basically.
And one of the reasons why I think it's easier for them to do it, and I always blame this on women, but men are involved too. But these same women who are starlets, they were having sex with guys for chicken dinners. If I could have sex with this ugly ass fat man and he could make me into a millionaire, when before I was just getting a rubber chicken out of this shit, well, I can endure that. I mean, a woman say I can endure that. Okay. Like Megyn Kelly, big fat, what you call it, the guy who run Fox used to grab her ass and all that kind of stuff. But he was giving us 7-figure checks.
You heard what the young lady from the Playboy Ranch said?
Yeah.
She said, we all dated Hugh Hefner. On the days that we had intercourse, it was for 1 minute apiece with all of us, except for the last girl. That's who he finished with. So it was like so they knew the rotation, so they knew who was gonna be the last girl, and that's who he finished with. But it would be 1 minute. Okay, your time is up, and she said it was like a clock. 1 minute. Okay, all right, we're good. Come on, new 1 minute. But then the last girl was the girl that had to take the load.
Wow. I mean, like I said, that's
crazy as hell. But she said I knew why I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting something out of this. You know what I'm saying? The money, the parties, the life, the mansion. I knew what I was getting out of it, but I knew I had to do this one deed once a week for 1 minute, unless I was the last girl. You know what I'm saying? She knew.
But go ahead.
I just believe that Diddy had a lot going on, even probably before Cassie even came into the picture. So when she she didn't know she was coming into a crime scene. She just thought that she was coming into a situation where it's just like, oh, I'm infatuated with this man. He said he could give me what I want. I know he freaky. He liked the freaky stuff. And I'm sure that intensified as as were in a relationship. I'm sure he didn't start off with a straight up freak off call to sex worker now, right off the bat. We talked about that a little.
It was the elevation. It was the elevation.
That one girl said he did.
What we were talking about, earlier, and how guys to get what they want is more of a little bit of an elevation than a right away. Let me tell you what's up.
But that one girl said he did
back on that thing. Yeah, that's.
But it was one of them that said he did. She said the first time that they had it one time, like when they very first met, he had like mentioned it to her, like, yo, like, have you ever tried this and this? And she said that on their she was like, I'd be interested in it, kind of, see. And she said that night he pulled up and they called somebody that night. She was like, I didn't think it was gonna be that quick. Like, so like in her mind, she's thinking like, okay, maybe we're gonna do this like a couple months down the line. But he, like, the day that he mentioned it, that night he made it happen.
But it wasn't the night they met.
I don't know if it was the night they
No,
met.
it took them a little while.
She just said it. No, I'm not talking about with Cassie. I'm saying it was another woman.
Oh, another
but yeah, the other woman, she just said that when she started, like, she had talked to him, and then when he told her about it, and it was the same night, but it was like they had barely even known each other though. But he made it happen like that quick.
But right, and I believe that because
I do too.
That lifestyle, you know what I mean. But with Cassie, I don't believe it was that quick. He made a statement saying that he was molding her like that.
Yeah, he groomed her. He groomed her.
Yeah.
Listen,
how infatuated she was with him. He saw how hungry she was for the fame. You know, she was modeling. So she did have her, own career, but hooking up with Diddy would have, elevated her, although she thought, to a new level quicker than she could do on her own. So I think that he definitely took advantage of the young age. He took advantage of her wants to fulfill his desires, because he also had wants and needs and desires. And it just came to a Payne was saying, she just got so deep in that there was no, getting out was going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, absolutely.
She couldn't just walk through the back door.
You know what I really think is funny when women talk about the man groomed her. Listen, men want women they can mold. If every see, this is what women have to understand. Every man that you go with, and I mean in a serious relationship, you can't treat him like your previous man. Every man wants a woman molded to him, under the under the conditions that he prescribes, not what the previous man prescribed. So we like to groom the women to live with, especially if we're going to sacrifice everything for her. Right. Through obligation and love. So that's why men don't really like to marry older women for young men's things, right? Because we get crusty as we get older in our ways, right?
Hey, talk about
well, a 25-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man are both more malleable than when you're 35. Right, and that's just a fact of life, right? So that's why men like younger women, because they could groom them, right? So it's not always nefarious, right? When you got a bad guy, it's nefarious, but some guys have good intentions, but they want a wife molded to his benefits, and she gets what she wants out of it as well. I mean, so I think sometimes we make this whole thing into a bad connotation, but it's not.
I don't personally think a man grooming a woman is
for his wife. I'm talking about marriage too.
Right, for marriage. If you have bad intent, of course, you're a jerk, but I think that any and every man is going to want the woman that he is going to be with to do the things that would please him. I mean, shit, who else you with me? Who else would you be doing these things for? And then in order for you to know how to do them like I like, I'm going to have to teach you, groom you, help you, school you.
And there's some reciprocation to that as well. There's reciprocation to that as well.
Exactly, because he has to know, what she likes as well. It's not a one-way street. Y'all ain't nobody masters.
But that's not Diddy. That was Diddy. That's not his thing. But
the only thing that I said about that too, though, like sometimes we know that younger women like older men. So sometimes these
they crave some of that.
Yeah, sometimes these younger women, they just go after older men. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if she went after Ryan Leslie, but they dated, and that was a 10-year difference, and then she went after Diddy, and that was a 17-year difference.
So she went after Diddy.
She cheated after
her. I don't think she was actually
he came down and got her. He came down. He saw her. And
he got her. Yeah, I think I remember when we covered this before. Like she was at a party or something, and he told her not to go to the party, and she's like, "But I want to be with my friends." And like he
threw the party for her. He threw a party for her. He threw a party for her. Yeah, he threw a party for her.
But there was a situation where there was a party going on, and it was like her friends or her family.
That was her birthday.
Came and so she didn't want to be with Diddy. Like he definitely was the aggressor, and like I said before, most times guys are the aggressor, and women have to know how to say no. Like Cat Williams said, you got to tell them no.
And she was dating, but she was dating Ryan Leslie at the time, right? So, like, yeah, she cheated because she testified that she cheated with Diddy or was she cheated on Ryan Leslie with Diddy? So, like, that's how they got together. She cheated into that relationship, regardless of if Diddy went after her or not. She was in a relationship with another person. And then she cheated, and then she did the same thing with her husband. She cheated on her husband. She cheated on her husband with Diddy again. So
when was that though?
After she got with him, that's why she tested. That's why that's why
was that the first baby? Was the first baby born yet, or a second baby?
I don't know if the kids were born yet, but then after they got together, they were together, whatever, and then she went back to Diddy like one last time, and that's where the 96 hours that came into, and that's when he called her at 3 a.m. He FaceTimed her. She declined the call because her and Diddy was having sex at the time.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
This guy, he's a real man. He's a real man. You can do anything to him. He's a real man. He'll take her anyway. Oh my God. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
That's what
himself. He knew, who he was getting involved with, just like we tell women, like, you made this choice,
That's true. That is true.
He knew she was with Diddy. She knew that, she was in them freak offs and all of that. So, and him being a personal trainer, sometimes personal trainers have their own medicines and their own, healing agents. Because that's what their job is. Like their job is to, make sure you're in tip-top shape. And sometimes that's not always a natural procedure for celebrities.
That's them holistic niggas, right? That's not the regular personal trainers. That's the holistic niggas.
I don't put anything past
I gotta say that
down with probably some type of drugs too. I think that a lot of people in the industry don't do things the natural way. They do it quick, bam, boom, plow, plow. Like they do it so tomorrow you won't even know what happened to them.
I mean, it's kind of funny though that I mean, I can see the personal trainer. He's with her a lot. I can see how he gets enamored with her. I think that she's a nice looking woman, but I've seen but there's a lot of pretty women out there. I think there's something else about her from that standpoint that made her so desirable. Because usually guys, you might lust after her, but all the way up until the marriage thing, it's really strange to me, that you would take a woman from not just this guy, not that she's unmarriageable, but because I think you even kind of mentioned it, the fact that he knows what she was into and he was still willing to marry her is really unusual to me, as opposed to a stranger who was separated from that she met down the road, who didn't know the lifestyle.
But, it could be like she could probably fulfill those fantasies with me. She could probably do.
Yeah, but you don't need a ring for that, though.
Huh?
You don't need to marry her for that.
You're right. But like y'all said, he could be playing a long game because men do use women too. So it may not all be a love thing, right? Like, what's love got to do with it, right?
Or it's a tremendous love thing. Like men are stupid in love too.
So the spectrum. He had so much love for her that he felt as though he needed to rescue her from this situation, or it could be, she's dealing with Diddy. I know what was going on with Diddy. A lot of people know what was going on with Diddy, and if I got the numbers on my side, numbers in every way possible, then I'm gonna just work it. I'm gonna give her some babies. You know, I'm a make her, you know, think, because babies is not the reason why people stay together anymore. You know, so it's not like it's uncommon for people who have sex to have.
Of course not.
You know, it's a natural thing whether you want them here or not. So he could be playing the long.
I got one for you too. Cassie's. I don't know how many Plan B she took, but she's a testament that, you know, having a lot of sex, you don't have to get pregnant unless you want to.
That's true.
That's a good one.
You know, you
But
definitely
it was readily available too. A lot of women know that they need to do what they need to do, and they lazy. They don't go. They don't. You know. So the man that she was having sex with also made sure that she didn't get pregnant. It wasn't just her. It was on him too. You hear a lot of women say, "Oh well, he came in me," and da da da. And I'm not defending those women, but what I am saying is, because it is your responsibility. But if two people are going to have sex, and you know that there's a possibility that the woman can get pregnant, you as a man provide what needs to be provided. So we both know that this ain't going down the way that
you can't make it. You can't make her take them. The Plan B and stuff.
Oh, he made her take him.
Oh yeah, but Diddy made her take whether it was him.
I mean, he wanted everybody to finish in her. I mean, of course, he gonna make her take.
That's so, I mean, you know what? I didn't listen to any of that. I'm not even gonna go back to listen to. I don't even want to hear some of that.
Yeah, bro. They
birth control. Like, you can damage your body so much.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He definitely said, bro. Like they used to like one of the guys said he that one time he had faked it, and he said that because like after they would finish, Diddy would take her to the back room, and then like, you know what I'm saying, like whether it was like, you know, Cialis, Viagra, because they had Cialis there too, and so they was like, you know what I'm saying, to stay hard long time or whatever. But they he's like, okay, boom, he would take her to the back to check. And then they said that he would like put it on his nipples, like, or she would put it on his nipples. But but it was just crazy. But the guy who was testifying said that he faked it one time, and they went back to the room, and then then Diddy came out and was like, "Are you sure that you finished?" You know what I'm saying? So it's like checking. Like to make sure that he really like finished in her.
And then it's like, you know, Diddy like to watch men having sex with guests. Like, did they have sex? Like, you know what I'm saying?
She said rarely.
Did you just like seeing other men with her? Like, was that like primarily your fantasy, and seeing the bodily fluids everywhere? And
oh, Jesus Christ.
I told you that's one of the biggest it's one of the biggest most watched fetishes
category
on any porn site. Like, yeah.
Damn, man, I'm old fashioned like a mother,
and
man.
even then, like you think about too, like the same thing would be for like the glory hole. Like that's the same thing when people will put they like their wives will go to, because like I didn't realize how big the swinger community was until I moved to Colorado. Like when I very first moved to Colorado, one of my boys and his wife, they were swingers. I didn't know that. Like until he deployed, like till he left and got stationed in Korea, and they broke up, and she ended up coming back. And then like she ended up telling one of my other teammates about like some of the stuff that they was doing. And then one time I was downtown, and she used to dance downtown, and she was like, yeah, man, like me and Trent, man, we used to go, you know, but damn, he don't watch. But so like me and T, we used to be up here, we used to go do this and this and this and this. Like literally they would go to, you know, to different spots around Colorado, and they would be doing their thing, man, like all the swinger clubs, like just having a good time.
Well, so anyway, so it's it's an interesting case. We got, I don't know, man. I mean, people are just crazy, you know. So these are good conversations. I just don't.
We have a long way to go.
And I'm mad at you. But I'll give you that on my way out of here.
Who you mad at?
Precious.
Ooh,
I'm mad at Precious,
For
man.
leaving us hanging last week. For leaving us hanging.
Nah, I listen because I said, see, this is why these good conversations like this get people hooked. You feel me? And I'm over here. I said, listen, I'm gonna be here till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I gotta record my video tonight so I can drop it tomorrow. It's 11:10 over here. Because these conversations be so good. And then when you be like, oh yeah, we only gonna react to 2-3 videos tonight. We only gonna be 2 hours, and then we still be 3-4 hours. I'm mad at you for this.
I never gave a time limit tonight. You always do, but I'm off tomorrow, so I can sleep in. So I say, you know what? I've been going for a week, so let me just do the job, and whatever time we get off, we get off. So I never gave a time limit, and all day you done had to do this, plus be on this panel. So
no, I was at work. I was at work.
Don't be mad at me. Look. You either going to stay up later or get up earlier. Which one you doing? Which one you doing? I appreciate you for being here, though.
That's
funny. What? I can't take it.
Thank you. Well, that concludes this show. I appreciate y'all, Sean, as well as Uncle Ricky, for being here. Even those who are in the chat, those who sent some super chats. Thank you guys so much for supporting the platform. We appreciate you. And definitely join us next week. I did my schedule for next week, and I believe that I took off on Wednesday, so we will be here on Wednesday. And I'm pretty sure we'll have more to the trial by then. And we'll talk more then about the trial. The whole live won't be about the trial. Try and throw in some other videos as well, but I definitely appreciate you guys for being here. And I keep saying today is Thursday, but next Wednesday we will be live. Okay, we will be live next Wednesday. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Definitely hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the people who are on the platform as well. They have their own channels. Frank is on his way to being monetized, so definitely go over there, view his videos. He has a lot of great reactions on his channel, so definitely hit him up. And Arpain does a lot of his lives. He cooks with his family. He has, when the women let the women tell it.
Yeah, I haven't done one in a while. I got political reactions now.
He has a lot of political reactions. The food, the music. So he does his thing as well on YouTube. So definitely go over and support. Yeah. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. And I always have to remember to tell myself to shout you guys out too, because week in and week out, you guys are here supporting, and you don't have to be, you could be doing something else. So I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing the channel with your audience as well, to allow the Real Precious to be streamed not only on this channel, but on other platforms where other people can see it and they can join the conversations as well. I think I've seen a couple of people say, hey, I just saw your name come up, or, I just saw you were live. And, that helps when you guys stream the live from your channels, because it just allows YouTube to say, hey, everybody watching this, what's going on? So thank you. But y'all know, I can't even go there yet. We didn't even do final thoughts. I'm about to dash. Be real with yourself, so you be more aroused. All right, bye, y'all.
Hey, that was been cool one way or the other.
You was good either way.
Either way.
I got to tell you I was mad at you, so my final thoughts is good.
Oh, that was your final thought?
So you definitely let me go first, so he can tell you he can lay it on me.
All right, go ahead.
Actually, no, that's cool, man. It was listen, last week we missed you. I said we we were like jonesing. We were jonesing. You over? Did you send a picture out or something? You were somewhere doing something.
Yes, I worked the air show. Last
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's over there having fun. We're all doing DTs in the back.
I was stressing. I was managing.
Where's Precious?
Right, she out here having a good time, and we
Good
over
time.
here.
I'm glad, I thought it looked like fun. I'm glad I played it off and made it look like fun. Time to me, okay? All right.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good.
And conduct the air show and make sure everything happened seamlessly and flawlessly, and which it did. So I'm grateful that it did. But I needed that rest. If I would have been live with y'all, I would have been no good. Okay.
I hear you. I enjoy
leaving us to our shenanigans.
My birthday is on. I got a graduation party for a couple of my nieces to go to on Sunday.
Okay.
So we're gonna go out to Weehawk in a restaurant with the whole family. So me and my brothers and sisters and our family, we're gonna get together. It's 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't been together for probably in like 10 years.
Wow.
All of us in the same place because one of my brothers in Milwaukee. We're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And so that should be nice. And then my birthday is on Monday. Me and my youngest daughter, we share a birthday. So we're going to go have some fun there. So I mean, it's going to be good. So I'm off on Monday too. So I'm not going to do my Monday show. And that's about it. So it's cool.
Well, enjoy. We got to remember it's your birthday. If you're still here watching, wish our Pain some happy early birthday wishes now. But I'll definitely keep you in mind for Monday. Reach back to you, say happy birthday to you and your daughter. But thank you for being here. I hope you guys have great family time and you enjoy your birthday. Your daughter enjoys her birthday, and your wife, she can do that birthday cake.
Yeah, I could do it. I could do it up in quick.
Come on, R-Pain, you gotta understand what she's talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it hit me after I said it. I said, you know what?
Pain said, I don't want no damn.
As soon as I said that shit, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I said, hey, listen, you know what? We're a little slower the uptake, what I mean.
In the birthday suit, okay?
Hey, and Pain, you gotta do it before. You gotta do it before you go. You might as well. It's time to go ahead and eat some ass.
that shit ain't happening. There ain't no birthday ass involved, man. That's the one thing that ain't happening.
Go ahead and scratch it off your bucket list.
It's not in the bucket list. It's not in the bucket list.
Hey.
Anyway, I'm done.
Thank you. Frank, final thoughts. I already know you're mad at me.
My bad. Okay.
Let's see what he's bad at. I want to know what he's bad at.
I'm telling you, I did the Pain, man. You brought up another one too. She out here frolicking, having a good time at the air show, gallivanting, having a crazy. Got us all caught up in this live good conversation rigmarole, since that's the word of the night.
Right.
And we like some fiends over here, like we itching for the live show.
If I could trade, I would have traded, okay? Because I felt like a truck hit me after that air show. It was a 2-day air show. Friday we set up. So honestly, this is a lot more relaxing than doing what I was doing. I'm glad y'all thought I was just chilling.
On the airplanes, on the 757. We seen you. But nah, and then every time, man, she always gets us enthralled in these good conversations, and we be trapped right here. I'm like, okay, this is the second time I was supposed to record a video. No, okay, so yeah, 3. So I only left one time to do a video, because we be having some good conversations over here. Some good people be coming up here. Uncle Rick, Coach Ferg, JT, R-Pain, Sean, sometimes Sean brother. You know what I'm saying? The conversation just be so good, man. We just be having a good time. Lamont and
we haven't seen Lamont in a while.
Yeah, but we just be having so much fun. The conversations just be flowing. People be talking crap back and forth, but You know what I'm saying? I'd be looking forward to Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays, just to, you know, to be in the realm of good conversation, you know, with good people. And so, you know, I definitely appreciate the invite. And hopefully, you know, as like I said, I always say, like, hopefully we all grow together, you know what I'm saying, like we all become one big ass community, you know, or one small community, but end up becoming, you know, the creators that we want to become, you know what I'm saying, and we all push each other, we all help each other, and we all just see each other grow in this content creation world. So I definitely appreciate you for having me up here, and I appreciate the good conversation.
Of course, I appreciate you guys for being here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Uncle Rick. Thank you to Sean, who was here as well. And y'all know my closing words are going to be keep it real with yourself so you can keep it real with everyone else. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.